Hey everyone, it's Sam Ovens here, and I want to invite you to an exclusive free webinar with me this week where I show you how I started my consulting business from scratch and then grew it to the point right now where I'm making more than $20 million per year with it. So on this webinar, I'm going to show you exactly how I did that, and I'm going to explain the process and the evolution that I went through to achieve that goal and that transformation. But most importantly, I'm going to show you how you can start your very own wildly profitable consulting business from scratch and then actually get clients, be able to provide value to them, and get paid in return. And I'm going to show you how to do all of this regardless of the experience that you have, the skills that you have, or any of your background knowledge or any of that. So it's not like you need to be a Harvard MBA or even have any college degree at all. This webinar is going to show you how you can start your own consulting business from scratch and actually turn it into a viable career option and make a lot of money with it. So this webinar is really for two types of people. The first is people who know nothing about business, nothing about consulting, and they're really not exposed to the world of entrepreneurship or business at all. So if that's you, this webinar is going to show you how you can go from scratch to starting your own consulting business, getting clients, and making money very quickly. So if that's you, that's what this webinar is going to show you how to do. The other group of people are people who already have established and existing consulting or coaching businesses. And if that's you, this webinar is really going to show you how to systemize everything, how to make things predictable, and how to really take things up to that next level where you can escape the deadly time trade of money and done-for-you services which absolutely weigh you down and plague the existence of running and operating your consulting business. So if you fall into any of those two categories, this webinar is for you, and you're really going to enjoy the things which we cover in here, and you're going to be able to take a lot of value from it. So if you're not familiar with my story, I got started completely broke, working out of my parents' garage in New Zealand. I listened to the traditional advice that everyone gives, and they say, you know, go to college and then get a corporate job and then work for the rest of your life, buy a house and stuff, right? So I listened to that advice, and then I ended up in my corporate job. And then I just looked around and I was like, is this it? Is this what the rest of my life is going to be like? And then I thought, where did I go wrong? I listened to what everybody said. How could everybody be wrong? And this really got me into questioning everything. I started questioning my choices. I started questioning why I had a job and why I wasn't doing something else. And these questions really led me to start quitting my job, dropping out of college, moving back home with my parents into their garage, and starting my own consulting business. And my first year of running my consulting business went horribly wrong. I made no money, I burned myself out, and I made pretty much every mistake that someone could possibly make. And it was a very dark and troubled time of my career. However, this pain and the suffering, it led me to really discovering a few key things and really cracking the code to how to start a consulting business from scratch. And as I started to learn these things and apply them, my life and my business transformed exponentially. Now, the first year I was in consulting, I made nothing. I was broke, living at home in my parents' garage. But the first year I really figured things out, made $100,000. The second, I made $500,000. The third, $1.2 million. The fourth, $2.4 million. Then in the fifth, over $18 million. More than that, I was able to start teaching other people how to start their own consulting businesses. And I decided to, start teaching these people, and their results were amazing. Since I've started teaching people how to do this and how to start consulting businesses, I've helped create more than 21 millionaires. I've helped over 451 people start six-figure consulting businesses, and I've helped more than 3,000 people from all around the world quit their jobs and start consulting businesses of their own. So when I tell you that, I know how to start my own consulting business, I really mean it. And I have the track record and the case studies and the client results to really prove that. So this webinar is really going to show you the methods that not only I went through, but my students went through to achieve these profound, life-changing results that you'll be able to see if you look at the reviews below. And more than that, I was able to buy the domain name consulting.com and actually start an e-learning business which is now really taken off, and it's helping thousands of people all over the world quit the traditional path of working a 9-to-5 job and pretty much being a slave to the system, and really start their own consulting business and create a lot of freedom and wealth with that instead. So this webinar is going to show you exactly how to do that, how I was able to do it, and how thousands of others were able to do it too. Now on this webinar, we're going to cover 3 key things. And these 3 things you will not have heard anywhere else. Because right now, if I look out my window and I really look at the advice that most people are just shoving down everyone's throats right now, it's really disturbing. You know, most people right now are giving the wrong advice. They're telling people to do the wrong things. And this webinar is really going to debunk a lot of those myths, and it's really going to provide some advice that you're going to be able to use and take away so that you can start your own consulting business. Now, here's the 3 things. Number 1 is I'm going to show you how to pick your niche and craft an offer that actually provides value to people. So right now in the consulting industry, I see a huge problem that's plaguing everyone, and it's widespread, and that's generalism. You know, most people are generalists. They're trying to do everything for everyone at any price. And this isn't a consultant. This isn't even a business owner. You know, this is a glorified human body for hire at a negotiable rate. And I'm sorry if that's you, but, you know, that's not the way to run a business. And the correct way to run a consulting business is to pick a niche. You know, pick a group of people that you can thoroughly understand, and then understand what makes them tick, and step in and be a provider of value to those people. And this webinar is going to show you how to really pick your niche, find out what makes them tick, find out what their pain points are, and then step in as a provider of value and as a provider of transformation to help these people. So that's number 1. Number 2, and this is pretty different. You probably haven't heard this anywhere else, but the second point I'm going to cover is how to become a different person. And so this isn't really even business advice, but if you were to ask me, in my story and in my evolution of going from someone who was completely broke, clueless in their parents' garage in New Zealand, to the point right now where I own consulting.com and we're making more than $20 million a year, the one thing that's really made the most profound change is becoming a new person. And what I mean by that is that, you know, most people are limited by the character which they have defined for themselves. So most people have this thing which they call me, or their self. And whatever this thing is, and whatever you've defined it as, that is really the cage which you've put yourself in. So a lot of people think, oh, I can't start a business, or I can't start a consulting business. And so they don't even try, because that's not them. But the truth is that that's just a myth. You know, being yourself is a myth. And really what this webinar is going to show you how to do is going to show you how to escape the shackles of being yourself and really design a new character capable of achieving the things that you want in your life, and really how to transcend yourself and grow into this new person and achieve the success in the life that you want. So that's number 2. Now, number 3 is I'm going to show you the exact process that I am using right now in my consulting business to take absolute total strangers to high-paying consulting clients with one phone call. So on this webinar, I'm going to show you the exact method, which involves Facebook ads. I'm going to pull back the curtain and explain everything about that. It also involves a simple funnel. And I'm going to pull back the curtain and explain all of that. I'm even going to give you different swipe files for that. And I'm even going to show you the sales script which I use. So I've done over 3,000 sales calls. Recorded them all, I transcribed them, and I really studied this, and I really turned it into a science and a session until I figured out, really, what is the process that we can go through, take people through, to convert them from a total stranger to a high-paying client with one phone call. And on this webinar, I'm going to show you all of that. I'm going to pull back the curtain, show you how we do the Facebook ads, show you the funnel, give you the templates and everything, and even introduce you to my sales script. So this webinar is of insane value compared to everything else that you've probably seen out there. I spent more than a month creating the content for this webinar, and you're really going to like what you've got to see. So what I encourage you to do right now is just click the button to the right-hand side and register for the webinar right now. We've got a couple of times this week, and you should be able, one of them should work for you. Find the time that works for you, register, lock it in, and secure your seat, and then you can show up to this webinar, and I'm going to share with you all of these things. Now, also on this webinar, I'm going to be handing out this, which is the Consulting Webinar Workbook. So, like I said, this webinar it took me more than a month to create the content for this thing. I really put all of what I've got into this, and I'm really holding nothing back. So it's going to be a really good use of your time, and like nothing else that you've seen out there. And more than that, is if you register for this webinar, I'm going to be handing out the Consulting Webinar Workbook. And what this is it's basically all of the things that we're going to discuss in the webinar, all of the slides, all of the notes, and even the swipe files and templates and everything. And this is more than 100, I think more than 200 pages. And this took again probably like a month to put together. And this is amazing breakthrough content that you're not going to find anywhere else. And if you register for this webinar today, you're going to be given this for free. So what I encourage you to do right now is just click that green button to the right-hand side, register for the webinar, select the time that works for you, and then I will see you there, and I'll be really looking forward to presenting this information to you and really helping you make a transformation in your life and helping you start your own consulting business. And if you're having doubts about registering for this webinar, that's totally fine. I understand there's a lot of people out there on the internet that tell you they can help you with all these different things. So if that's you and you're skeptical and you don't believe the things I've said or anything like that, well, I encourage you to check out the testimonials below. So if you scroll down on the page, there's 3 different testimonials from some of the people that I have helped. And if you listen to these people's stories, you'll hear how they were able to really change their life and start their own consulting business and really scale it up to that next level. And if those 3 don't do it for you, well, you can head over to consulting.com/reviews, and there's another 3,200 video testimonials there. Since I started teaching people, like I said, we have created 21 millionaires from this training. We've also helped more than 451 people get 6 figures, and over 3,100 or 3,200 people have been able to quit their jobs because of this training. So this training is the real deal. I've got the case studies to back it up. You can listen to their words, not mine. And what I encourage you to do right now is click that green button to the right, register for the webinar, lock in a time, and I look forward to seeing you there, and I look forward to presenting this stuff to you, and also giving you this Consulting Webinar Workbook. Thanks. And once again, and thanks for registering for the Consulting Webinar. You've made an awesome decision, and I can't wait to see you on the webinar and share this information with you so that you can apply it and really use it to change your life and really start your own consulting business, get clients, make money, and really enjoy a lot of freedom that comes with all of that. So for this webinar, I've got 3 very important things that you need to remember so that you can show up to the webinar and actually get a seat. Now, right now, we've had thousands of people register for this webinar. And what that means is the webinar software I'm using, it can only take so many people at one time. And then it just starts kicking people out. So what you need to do, and this is really important, is these 3 things right now. The first one that I want you to do is block out 2 hours in your calendar. So next to this video, to the right-hand side, you'll see that there's a little calendar that you can click, and you'll be able to schedule it into your Google Calendar. And you can also enter your mobile phone number so that we'll send you an SMS reminder. If you're someone that typically forgets things, I highly encourage you to enter your phone number so that you can get an SMS reminder. Also, click that button, schedule it in Google Calendar, and this is very important. Make sure you block out a full 2 hours. This webinar is quite long. You know, this isn't like other webinars where it's just thrown together last minute. I spent more than a month putting this thing together for you, and the information that you're going to learn in here, you will not find anywhere else. And, you know, this webinar, you might not get the opportunity to register for it or attend it at any other time. So what I want you to do is block out 2 hours, put it in your calendar, and make sure that you remember the date and the time. And that'll be to the right-hand side of this video. You'll see the date and the specific time. Write it on a piece of paper, stick it on your computer, put it in your calendar, enter in your phone number, make sure you don't forget. Now, the second thing that is important is I want you to show up early. So like I said, we've had thousands of people register for this webinar. It's been very popular, and it's really exploded. I didn't think that we'd have this much interest in it. And what that means, like I said, is we can only have so many people. So if you show up late to this webinar, then you're not going to be able to get a seat, and you're going to miss out on this opportunity. So to avoid that, I want you to show up early. And I recommend showing up at least 5 minutes before the scheduled start time. So look at the time to the right-hand side. Whatever that says, make sure you get there 5 minutes early. And if you do that, you'll be able to get yourself a seat. Now, the third and final thing, and this is very important as well. All of these things are extremely important. The third one is show up on a desktop computer or a laptop computer. So if you've registered for this webinar using a desktop or a laptop, that's awesome. When you go to attend this webinar, make sure you use a desktop or a laptop. Now, I don't recommend using a mobile phone to attend this webinar, and there's multiple reasons why. First of all, is this webinar is 2 hours long, and no one really wants to attend something 2 hours long on their mobile phone, and you're going to get all of these distractions and all of that. It's not recommended. The experience is horrible. I tried it myself, and I couldn't even get through it. So show up, laptop or desktop. Don't use a mobile phone. Also, some people have been telling me that when they show up on a mobile, it breaks and it doesn't work. So I highly recommend using a desktop, using a laptop when you attend the webinar. Now, if you're on a mobile device right now, that's totally fine. Just go to a desktop computer or a laptop computer. We've sent you an email right now, and in that email is a link to attend the webinar using your desktop or laptop device. So those are the 3 things. I'll run through them just one more time to make sure that you've got them, because these things are vitally important. The first one, block out 2 hours in your calendar. Block it out right now. You can enter an SMS reminder as well to the right of this video. Second one, show up early. Get there at least 5 minutes early so that you can ensure that you get a seat. And the third one, show up on a laptop or desktop device. Don't use your mobile phone. It does not work very well, and it won't be a very good experience. So those are the 3 reminders, and if you follow those things, you've got nothing to worry about. You're going to be able to attend this webinar, and you're going to be able to get the full experience and the full value out of it. So like I said, this webinar and this training, which I'm doing on showing people how to start their own consulting businesses, since I've been teaching people how to do it, we've created 21 millionaires. 451 people have been able to make more than 6 figures, and over 3,100 people have been able to quit their jobs because of the information that you're going to learn in this webinar. So this information is valuable, and it has the power to change your life and help you start a business and really change the whole thing for you, change the whole game. And finally, the Consulting Webinar Workbook. So this is going to be handed out on the webinar, and if you want to get this, which you definitely do, this is more than 200 pages of amazing content. It took a long time to put this together. If you want to get the Consulting Webinar Workbook, make sure you show up live to the webinar at the scheduled time. So that's it for this video. I just wanted to give you those 3 reminders so you can make sure that you get the full experience. So thanks, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the webinar real soon. Marvin's here, and thank you for coming here early. You're one of the organised ones, and I really appreciate that. And you're definitely going to get a seat on this webinar today, which is, good news. So we're going to get started with the webinar in just a couple of minutes. So right now, I want you to just check a few things to make sure that you have the best experience on this webinar. So we're going to go live any minute now. There should be a countdown timer next to this video ticking down, and as soon as that gets to 0, we'll be going live with everything. Now, right now, what I want you to do is just quit out of any other tabs that you've got open. So webinars, you want them to run fast. You want to hear what I'm saying. You want to be able to see what's on my screen, and to do that, you need a fast connection to the internet. So if you're streaming any movies, if you're streaming YouTube or anything like that, quit out of all of those tabs. It's best to, shut down all of those tabs, as many as possible, or if you're running downloads in the background, get rid of them as well. Also, if there's other people in your house using the internet, maybe using Apple TV or things like that, it's best not to do that as well. You want to make sure that you've got, all the bandwidth dedicated to this webinar so that you're going to have the best experience and you're not going to miss a beat at all. Now, another thing that you want to do on this webinar is, I'm going to cover a lot of stuff. I'm going to move pretty quickly, and a lot of the stuff I'm going to be sharing is, very valuable. A lot of people have said that, I could charge up to 10 grand for the things that I give away for free on this webinar, and that's true. All right, welcome everyone. Let me know if you can see my screen and hear my voice. Let me know if you've got audio and video working correctly. Just give me the number 9 in that chat box if you can see everything. Awesome, lots of 9s. Cool. Well, let's jump right in and get started with this webinar. I want to be really respectful of your time here today, and I want to get right to the point and right into delivering some amazing value for you guys so that you can really start your own consulting business and make things happen. So welcome to the consulting webinar, and the title of this webinar today is How to Start a Wildly Profitable Consulting Business and Get Your First High-Value Client in Just 42 Days' Time. Now, presenting this webinar today is myself, Sam Ovens. It's a picture of me on the left there, and I'm a successful consultant who made over 20 million by age 27. And helping me out with this webinar today is my assistant, Sarah Brittany. And Sarah's going to be monitoring that chat box over to the right-hand side of the screen. And so throughout this webinar today, if you've got any questions at all, feel free to ask them in that questions box, and Sarah or myself will help you out. Now, what I want you to do right now is just let me and Sarah know where you're calling in from today. Let's see who we've got on this webinar, and let's see where everyone's calling in from. So just enter in that chat box where you're calling from. What city, what country? Awesome, I can see lots of people in America. We got San Diego, we got LA, we got New York, people in Canada, people in London. Awesome. Well, let's jump in and get started. So my goal for you today is to provide you with everything you need so that you can start your own consulting business and get high-value clients immediately, even if nobody knows who you are, even if you have no special skills or experience, and how to do all of it without being pushy, slimy, and salesy. And this training is the real deal. The strategies and methods you're about to discover are the exact same strategies that I used to personally grow my consulting business to more than $20 million in just 4 years' time. And more than that, these methods completely changed my life. I was able to move to New York with these methods. I was able to start a very successful business and completely change my life. And more than that, these methods changed my family's life. Just this year, I was able to retire my mum and dad. That's a picture of them on the screen there, and that's something I've always wanted to do. And more than that, these methods have completely changed thousands of people's lives all over the world. I've helped a lot of people learn how to start their own consulting business, and they have done just that. And here is a post from Angie, who attended this webinar, and she said, "Thank you, Sam Ovens. I signed up to your webinar to learn some new skills. I jumped on board to pursue consulting, and what I got was a new life." And here's what we're going to cover on this webinar today. So we're going to start off with why consulting is the best place to start as an entrepreneur right now. So there's lots of different opportunities you could pursue. You could start a Subway franchise, you could get into e-commerce, but I'm going to tell you why consulting is the absolute best place to start right now. And then we're going to cover the only 3 things that you need to start your consulting business and grow it to 6 figures quickly. And this is a big one because I see so many people today just scatterbrained across 1,000 different things, and the trick is focus. And I'm going to show you what those 3 things are. And I'm going to show you how to rewire your brain and become a completely different person. And I know this one sounds kind of weird, but honestly, this is one of the biggest breakthroughs I've had in my entire business career, and it's really going to help you. And then I'm going to show you how to pick your niche and create an offer that provides real value to people. And this is so important because without a niche and without an offer, well, you've got nothing to sell. And if you don't have anything to sell, well, you've got nothing to sell. And so I'm going to show you how to get that dialed in right now on this webinar today. And then I'm going to show you how to get your first few high-value clients quickly. I'm going to show you end-to-end how to take a complete stranger to a high-paying client with one phone call and with a proven system. And I'm going to show you all of this on this webinar today. And then I'm going to show you how to price your services correctly and the math to making 100K as a consultant. And this is going to shock a lot of you because it's a lot easier and a lot faster than you may think. And then finally, at the end of this webinar today, I'm going to hang around for about a full hour, and I'm going to answer some questions. So like I said, you can ask questions in the chat box throughout the webinar, but at the end, I'm going to hang around and answer some personally myself. And if you stick with me to the end of this webinar today, I've got a special handout for you. So I'm going to hand out this webinar workbook. And what it is it contains all of the slides we're going to cover today. It covers all of the notes that we're going to talk about. And it even includes the swipe files and templates that I'm going to reference throughout this training. So we're going to cover a lot of ground today, and it's going to be some awesome stuff that you won't have seen anywhere else. So you definitely want to hang around and get this workbook. So just let me and Sarah know in that chat box right now. Just give me the number 2 if you're looking forward to getting this. Awesome. Cool. Well, let's talk about who this webinar is for. How do you know if you're in the right place right now? How do you know if this webinar is actually going to help you? Well, this webinar is for, first of all, caged employees. And these are employees working 9-to-5 jobs who feel trapped, soulless, and on a hamster wheel that keeps moving faster and faster. And if that's you, this webinar will show you how you can quit and work for yourself by starting your own consulting business. The second group is kindpreneurs, and these are people who are sold on entrepreneurship but haven't found the right vehicle to commit to. And these people are lovers of shiny objects and starting but not finishing. And if that's you, this webinar will show you how to commit to one thing and develop true mastery in your field. And the third group are struggling consultants. And these are people who are already coaches, consultants, or service providers, but are struggling to get clients consistently. They have no proven system. And if that's you, this webinar is going to show you how to bring clients to your business with absolute predictability. And the final group of people this is for is aware students. And these are students who know that the traditional path of college education and employment is broken and not the right path for them. And if that's you, this webinar will show you how to start your own consulting business and pursue entrepreneurship instead of corporate employment in that stale old education system. So if you fall into any of these categories, awesome, you're in the right place and you're going to love what we've got to cover here on this webinar today. But before we get started, here's some house rules for today's webinar. And first of all, this is not get rich quick. We're not going to be exploiting some loophole using some black hat software or doing any sort of gimmicky thing like that. What we're going to cover in this webinar today are real business strategies and tactics that are all above board and are really, real things that will last you a lifetime. And this is not do nothing but click a button and make money. And guys, those buttons don't exist. And this is not for people who are only out for themselves and want to profit without helping others. And if that's you, you're welcome to leave this webinar right now. I only want to help people in this webinar who are out to help others, because truthfully, that's the only way you can succeed in business anyway. And finally, neither my results or my clients' results are typical. And the people you're going to hear about are hard-working entrepreneurs who put in effort and did the work. And the results you get are entirely up to you. Now, right now we're experiencing one of the most profound shifts in the history of the world. And what's happening is some forces are kind of changing out there in the world. And the first one is that the jobs market is changing. So right now, over 53 million Americans are doing freelance work, and that's over 34% of the US workforce. And Forbes estimates that this will increase to over 50% by 2020. And what does this mean? Well, full-time jobs are becoming rarer, they're becoming harder to get, and they're becoming harder to keep. And some people are calling this the 9-to-5 apocalypse. And on the other hand, because jobs are kind of disintegrating and fading away, then we've got, on the other hand, consulting jobs, which are becoming more popular and easier to get. So on the one hand, we've got something going away. On the other hand, we've got something really coming through and emerging. And that's the second force. The consulting opportunity is huge. And Forbes estimates that the consulting industry is worth a whopping $100 billion per year. And Forbes predicts that this industry will grow by 83% this year alone. And that's $183 billion a year and record growth. And guys, this is happening right now, this year. And then the third force that's really coming into play here is the fact that the internet has broken down the traditional walls of doing business. So modern day technology allows anybody to start their own consulting business from home anywhere in the world with just a cell phone and a laptop. And we can reach anybody through online channels such as Facebook ads for just pennies. And never before in history has a moment in time like this ever existed. And every day, right now, people are able to start their own 7-figure consulting businesses from home without any fancy qualifications and without any staff or expensive overhead. And there has never been such an opportune time to start your consulting business. And the combination of these three forces coming together means that right now is the perfect time to start your own consulting business. Now, some of you are probably thinking, who the hell is this Sam Ovens guy, and why should I listen to him? And you know what? That's a really good question. So I want to share a quick story with you to explain who I am and what I do. So my name's Sam Ovens, and I'm a consultant from Auckland, New Zealand. You can probably tell by my accent. And I now live in Manhattan, New York. That's where I'm recording this webinar from right now. And I grew my consulting business from nothing to more than $20 million in less than 4 years' time. And a lot of you might think, oh, well, I bet you were just like some really smart kid who got like all of these awesome grades and went to Harvard or some Ivy League school or something like that. But that couldn't be further from the truth. I got started pretty much like everyone. I just listened to everyone and went to school and then went to university, and I never got very good grades at all. In fact, I was below average. And pretty much the only thing I was good at was hanging out with my friends and drinking beers, which is what I was doing right here. I never achieved very good grades in anything, and it was never really anything special. And then I got my first corporate job at this company called Vodafone in New Zealand. So I was still finishing my college degree, and I got my first job here. And my whole life, people had told me that this is what success was. You know, you go to college, then you get a job. And I was just sitting here at this corporate job, and I was like, you know what, is this really it? Is this what the rest of my life is going to be like? And I just thought, you know what, this is not for me. This is not what I want the rest of my life to be like. And I'm going to go and search for something better. There has to be something better out there. So I decided to quit my job, and I dropped out of college, and I had to move back home with my parents into their garage to save money. And my parents had downsized their house since I'd moved out, so there was no bedrooms left for me. I had to go into the garage. And I'd literally sleep on that couch at night, and then wake up in the morning and work from that desk supported by concrete blocks. And my dad's a builder, so I'd get this door from one of his building sites, and then just get these concrete blocks as well, because I didn't even have enough money to afford a proper desk. And it's quite funny, because in the summertime, it got so hot in here that I'd have to open this carriage door a little bit just to let some air in. And this is really where I got started. And to tell you the truth, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I hadn't even finished my degree. I had pretty much zero work experience because I quit my job after a few months, and I'd never really excelled in anything. So I was really flying blind. And what I'd do is I'd plan all of these different business ideas on this whiteboard in my parents' garage, and I got my mum to take some photos of me, which is kind of embarrassing, but this is where it all began. This is where I started. And I pretty much fell for the myth that everyone believes in these days, which is if you're going to start a business, it has to be a technology business. It has to be some app, and it has to be like Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. And so that's pretty much what I did. My first business was called Promote Yourself, and it was an online job board. And I spent so long building it. I put all the money I had into it. And then it just failed. No one wanted it. And then I had another crack at it, and I started this online office lunch delivery business called To The Desk, and the same thing happened again. I went out to sell it, and nobody wanted it, and this business failed. And so my first year in business was pretty rough. I had 2 failed companies to my name. I had quit my job and dropped out of college, so I had no degree, no qualifications, and I didn't have a job or any income. And, I'd spent a whole year, like a full 12 months, working 12 hours a day on these businesses, and they had failed. And I was living at home in my parents' garage, and I spent all the money I had, plus more. I borrowed money from grandparents, I took out credit cards, and I also had a student loan, so I was really in the red. And pretty much everyone around me, including my parents and my girlfriend at the time, they were like, hey Sam, this didn't really work out, so maybe you should go back and get a job. And these were dark times. I fell into a deep depression and could hardly get out of bed each day. But then one day it hit me. Nobody needed what I was selling. And I was trying to sell things that I thought people needed. But when I went to sell it to them, they all just said the same thing. Hey, this is cool, but I just don't need this. And then out of my darkest hours came my biggest breakthrough. And I thought, instead of trying to sell things I thought people would need, why not ask people what they need and then sell that to them? And so this idea really excited me. I was depressed, lying in bed for a long time, for weeks. But then I thought about it, and I was like, well, I've been trying to come up with ideas that I think people want. And I do this. I come up with this idea, I build this thing, and then I go and try and sell it to people, and then they all just tell me, hey, I don't want this. And that's why I was failing. So I was like, well, what if I went to the market first? What if I went and talked to the people, found out what they wanted, then built that, and then went back and gave it to them? Because, of course, they'd want it, because they were the ones who told me that they would want it. And this idea changed everything. It got me excited, and I just went back into my parents' garage and started brainstorming all sorts of ideas. And I just decided to start calling and emailing local business owners that I knew of back in New Zealand. And so I'd send them emails and call them, and I'd just be like, hey, I just want to learn about what is the most painful problem that you face on a day-to-day basis in whatever business that you're doing. And people would just tell me what their problems were. And it was amazing. Very quickly, I found out that a lot of local businesses like plumbers and electricians and builders and, just brick and mortar, day-to-day sort of businesses, they were really struggling with getting customers online. And what was happening is people used to use the yellow pages and radio to get customers, but now the times had changed and they didn't know what to do, and this was a huge problem. And I had no idea how to solve this problem, but I thought, whoa, this is a market and they have a very real problem, and if I knew how to solve this problem for them, then I would have a business and I'd be making a lot of money. And I didn't know how to solve the problem because I pretty much had zero skills. All I had to my name was 2 failed businesses, which is pretty much like the anti-credentials and the anti-skills. So what I decided to do was just buy some books on Amazon. You can see them sitting here. And I just bought some books on digital marketing, and I started learning about it. And when I was talking to one of the business owners, I said, hey, well, I think I can help you with this. And then he said, well, how much would you charge? And I had no idea he was going to say that. I didn't think of any pricing or anything. So I just said the first number that came to my head, which was $1,000. And he said, all right, well, let's do it. And I couldn't believe it. Just like that, I got my first consulting client. And it was crazy because I just spent the past 1 year, working 12 hours a day, spending every dollar I had, and I was just spinning my tires and getting nowhere. And then just like that, I got my first client for $1,000. And what's amazing is that this was real evidence to prove that you don't come up with ideas yourself and then go and try and sell them to people. You need to find the idea from the market and then help them with that. And that's what this was evidence for. And this is where my consulting journey began. And this was how I transitioned into it. And my first year, when I quit my job and dropped out of college and tried starting those 2 companies, they both failed, and I was broke and depressed and in a garage living with my parents. But that first year that I figured things out and got that first consulting client, one turned into 2, 2 turned into 3, and I made $100,000 that year, and I couldn't believe it. And then the next year, I made $500,000. And then word started spreading, and I got invited to do this interview on this website called Mixergy. And you can see I did this interview from my parents' garage still. There's my famous whiteboard, and you can see the desk supported by concrete blocks. And I looked like a little baby back then, because this was when I was just getting started. And I was just telling people how I was getting clients and how I was doing all of this, and I didn't know it was anything special at all. I didn't think anything of it. But then people started emailing me, like tons of people. I'd get emails every day. And people would reach out to me and they're like, hey, I saw your interview and I want to know, can you teach me how to do what you're doing? And at first I just ignored it because I thought, well, I don't think this will work for someone else. Maybe this only works in New Zealand, or I don't know if other people can do this. But this one guy, Stanley, he was just so persistent and relentless. He just kept emailing me. And then he offered to pay me $1,000 if I was to teach him what I was doing. So I agreed to help Stanley, and we basically had a Skype call every week, and we set up a Dropbox folder where we would put the Skype call recordings, and it was just me and Stanley in a Dropbox folder. And I started teaching him how to do what I was doing. And then, to my surprise, within the first 3 weeks, Stanley landed a client for $10,000. And this was crazy because at this time I hadn't got a client for $10,000. So Stanley bet me. And really the student had beaten the teacher within 3 weeks. And I thought, whoa, maybe this could work for other people. If it worked for Stanley, maybe it'll work for others. And tons of people kept emailing me. You can see these other emails right here. I would just get like 2 to 3 a day. And here's a screenshot of my inbox. You can see back in 2013, there was a total of 200 messages just about this one interviewer. It just really struck a nerve with people and got people interested. So what I started to do is I was like, hey, I'm teaching this guy Stanley how to do what I'm doing. He's doing good with it. Do you want to join in and join our group too? And people were just like, yeah, I'll join in. And so what I did is I pretty much opened me and Stanley's Dropbox folder up to other people. And additional people started joining. And very quickly, this turned into like a little community or a little group. And it was the most ghetto thing you've ever seen. It was just Skype call recordings dropped into a Dropbox folder. And it was called Consulting Course. But I was able to sell about 13 or 15 people into this thing. And that was real evidence that, whoa, I've got something that works for people. And people loved this thing. And I didn't know why. I was like, this is the most ghetto thing ever. How do people love it so much? But really what they told me is, Sam, this stuff is real and it works. And then I really realized that no one cares about anything else other than whether it works or not. And I had some methods that really worked for people, and that is when they started buying, and that is when this group just started growing like crazy. And this is when I knew that I had something special. And I decided to turn it into a proper course, like with a proper, design and everything, because more people started joining it. And when I launched the official course, the public just bought it like crazy. We sold about 240 people into it in the first month that we launched it. And here's a photo of my friend helping me pack these boxes, and we agreed to ship people out a box with, for everyone who purchased. And we had no idea that this many people were going to buy, so we really got ourselves into a bit of an issue. And here's my stairwell just filled to the top with like boxes. It took us about a month to pack these things. And that next year, that first year I made the course, I made $1.2 million. And I was able to make some dramatic changes to my lifestyle. I moved out of my parents' garage and I built my own place, and I designed it exactly how I wanted it. And it featured on the front page of this magazine right here. And I went around the world game fishing, and I went to see different NBA games. And I really started to enjoy a lot of freedom. Here's another photo of my apartment here, and I used to shout my friends on helicopter trips and things. And, I grew up in a poor family. So as soon as I had money, it was like I just had this burning desire to do all of these things that I'd always dreamed of. And I really just had to get that out of my system. But once it was out of my system, I decided to go back and really focus on this program because it was delivering such awesome results for people, and because people really wanted it. I thought, it's my duty to go back and make this thing even better. So I rented my first office right here, which was the story beneath my apartment back in New Zealand, and I went to work and I started working harder than ever, making this program even better. And then I relaunched the next version, and that was in the next year. And when I relaunched it, people bought it like crazy, and it made $2.4 million. And at this stage, I decided to go all in. At this point, I realized that I had something special. I had something that worked for people. And I decided to go all in and focus everything I had on it. So I sold everything I had in New Zealand, and I decided to move to New York. And this is my new apartment that I moved into, and that is where I live right now in Midtown Manhattan. And this is my desk right here. And this is where I run my consulting business from day to day. And this is where I'm doing this webinar from right now. And so that's where I work. And I started working harder than ever before. And I kept improving my consulting skills. I kept improving my training programs. And my clients' results just started to go through the roof. And by the time I was 27 years old, I'd made over $18 million. And so that first year I was in New York, 2016, 18 million. But I didn't stop there. I got back to work and I just kept working on this thing because I knew that this thing could help more people. If it had helped this many people so far, I knew it could help more. So I decided to start working harder than ever, and I started meeting with my clients. I started meeting with them and inviting them over to my apartment, and you can see some photos of them here. We would hang out and we'd discuss strategies and what's working and how we could improve everything, and it was awesome to meet with everyone because it just added a whole sense of realness to everything. Seeing all the people that were in my programs, hearing their life stories and hearing how this was helping them. And this really enabled me to really improve things and take the results to that next level. And I started getting clients all over the world. And right now we have clients in 72 different countries around the world. And our community started growing like crazy. We had more than 10,000 customers. And I quickly realized that I'd started something that was much bigger than me. And this was no longer about Sam Ovens. This was a worldwide movement. And I decided to purchase the domain name consulting.com, and I decided, that this thing has power. This thing has a lot of power and a lot of potential. This was sort of an open rebel by the people. They were like, we want to start our own businesses. We're tired of working for other people, and we want freedom, and we want to be able to make bigger incomes and really dictate life on our own terms. And that's really what consulting had become for everyone. And this whole movement sort of started to emerge. So I set up this office on Madison Avenue in New York, and I bought the domain consulting.com, and I invested a huge amount of money. I invested more than $10 million of my own money in it to really taking things to the next level. And you can see some photos of our team. I hired more than 30 people. I also opened an office in Ireland, and you can see some different pictures of our offices here. And then the world really started to take notice. I featured in Entrepreneur magazine. I featured in Forbes, Huffington Post, Fortune, Inc., and I even got invited down to the New York Stock Exchange to talk about how I was doing consulting and how I was helping everyone. And then Forbes put me on their 30 under 30 list. And here's my profile on Forbes right here, and you can see 30 under 30, and Forbes estimated my net worth to be $65 million. And really, I thought I'd reached the top in 2016 at 18 million. I thought, well, this thing has hit the limits, but I wasn't even really scratching the surface. In 2017, Forbes put me on their 30 under 30 list and gave me a net worth of $65 million. And so you can see how I went from being literally clueless in my parents' garage in New Zealand in 2011, and then in 2017 being on Forbes 30 Under 30 and net worth of 65 million. And I show you this not to show off and brag or anything like that, because that's not cool and that's not what I'm about. I show you this just to show you what's possible. I got started in this garage not knowing anything. All I had was a burning desire to just improve my life and my conditions and everything. And then in 4 years, I was in Manhattan at owned consulting.com and a net worth of 65 million. And now what I want you to do right now is imagine yourself 4 years from now. So picture where you are right now, your current situation, what you're doing and everything. Picture that for a moment. And then what I want you to do is imagine where you could be in 4 years. Imagine if you had the same progress over the 4 years that I had. Imagine where you could be. And now what I want you to do right now is make a decision that you're going to change things. And this is really important because when I think about it, where everything started for me, where everything started changing, is when I was just sitting in my cubicle at my corporate job and I thought, you know what? This isn't what I want. I want to make a change and I want to build a life the way I want it to be. And it was just that one decision that started everything. And that's where it begins, and it can't begin until you do that. So what I want you to do right now is just make that decision. And it's not just my results. You might be thinking, well, it's an awesome story and everything, Sam, but how do I know that you just didn't fluke it? And how do I know that I'm going to be able to do it? And that's a very good question. So here's some of my clients. Here's Olani, and he's a former NFL athlete. And he started working with me when his business was unstable and struggling. And within his first month, he grew to 20 grand a month. And over the first year of working with me, he made over $150,000. And here's Alchemy. She started working with me when her business was struggling. And within 1 year, she grew it into the millions and became a millionaire. And here's Hunter Otis. And when Hunter started working with me, he had no idea what his niche is. He didn't even have a business. And he started his own consulting business in a pretty cool niche, and it's porn addiction consulting. And not only that, but he scaled it to 6 figures in just a few months. And here's Brittany Brown. She started working with me when her business was struggling. She was spread out across different niches. She was burnt out. And within a few months of working with me, she grew to 30 grand a month. And she's in the binge eating niche. And here's Andrew Argue. He's in the accounting niche. And he started working with me when he wasn't in the accounting niche. He started working with me when he was spread out all over the place, doing all sorts of things and struggling. And within months of working with me, he had dialed in his niche and he grew his business to $300,000 a month. This is just in a few months. And then within 1 year, he grew it to $900,000 a month. And that is not a typo. That's 900 grand a month. That's almost $1 million a month. And yes, that is more than $10 million a year. And it's not just those stories. I've helped literally thousands of others all over the world. And I know saying 3,000, is a big, bold claim, so I just want to back it up right now. So on our website, consulting.com, if you click on reviews here, you can see we have over 3,000 customer reviews. And we publish all of them on our website, all 3,000 of them. You can see them all there. And this thing started to take on a life of its own. Before it was just me starting this small little Sam Ovens consulting business, but now this thing turned into a movement and it had run off and it was living a life of its own. And an entire community started to develop. So we started a Facebook group because we had all of these different members and we wanted a place to hang out and talk to each other. And we called it the Consulting Community. And then what was amazing to see is that all these relationships started to form. People would partner up with each other and become accountability partners. And then people would partner up with each other and practice the sales script. And friendships were made. A lot of people were able to help each other. And what really started happening is a whole culture really started to emerge and form in this community. And what was amazing is that whenever people would get clients, they would post in the group and say, ring the bell. So whenever someone got a client to celebrate, they'd come into the group and just say, ring the bell. And they'd post these images just saying, ring the bell. And then it started to mutate. People started adding their personality to the bell. You can see there's a different bell here. This guy submitted an AC/DC bell. And then this thing just started to get out of hand. We started getting more than 10 people posting in the group every single day, just saying, ring the bell. And now in this group, it's just contagious. It's like this is just bred and just gone wild. There are people getting clients and celebrating in this group every day, all hours of the day. And the results of everyone in there just got out of hand. And then I decided to really do something special for everyone in the group because they were doing so well. And because everyone was ringing this fake bell, people were just like, ring the bell and then just post an image. I thought, well, I'm going to get them a real bell to ring. And so what I decided to do is I bought a full-blown robot. And you can see it here. And I installed it in our office in Madison Avenue. And I basically got my developers to hook it into our training system. So within our learning platform, our clients can go in there, and when they get a client, they click ring the bell. And then they're able to see this robot in real time over a webcam, and they're actually able to click a button and ring the bell and see it all happen. And then, everyone at our office claps and everything. It's an awesome way for us at the office to really see the results that our clients are getting and really celebrate with them. And this course just grew into something like nothing else the world had ever seen. We produced, in a very short amount of time, 21 millionaires. So 21 people who started from zero or close to zero grew to more than $1 million. And we helped 452 people make six-figure incomes. And over 2,838 people quit their jobs because of this training. And you're probably thinking, why consulting? How did Sam make that much money and have such a crazy story with consulting? And how did all of those people make all of that money with consulting? I thought consulting was just a bunch of dudes wearing suits, selling time for money and just running around doing that. Why consulting? Well, the best way I can describe it is with this story from John Lennon of the Beatles. And one day John Lennon's wife was looking at their yard and she said that she wanted a pool. And John replied, okay, well, let's get one. And when John's wife responded, saying, well, how are we going to do that? John said, I'll write us one. And having a viable consulting offer is one of the most valuable assets that you can have because it means that you will never go hungry. And just like John Lennon had writing songs, you can have consulting as your way to get anything that you want in life. And while others obtain things through a lifetime of savings and frugality, you can obtain things by getting a few consulting clients. And you can finally stop worrying about where your next check is going to come from. Now let's talk about the benefits of consulting. So what makes consulting so good? Why consulting? Well, with consulting, you can start, boom, immediately with just a cell phone and a laptop. A lot of other businesses like e-commerce and things, you've got to buy all these products, you've got to have all the software, it's so complicated and it costs all this money. Consulting, boom, you're started immediately with just a cell phone and a laptop. Also, there's no need to build a product or spend 5+ years building up goodwill or word of mouth. And consulting has high profit margins and plenty of cash flow from day one. So with a lot of other businesses out there, if you sell something for $100, you only get to keep like $20 of it. But with consulting, it's got thick margins. And that means if you sell some services for about $1,000, then you'll probably get to keep about 800 of that or 900 of that. And there is no other thing really out there that has profit margins that high. Also, consulting gives you a massive confidence boost. And sometimes when you're starting your own thing, you can really get down and into a dark place. And that's what happened to me because I just didn't have any wins. But then when I started consulting and I got that first client, everything changed for me. Even though that client wasn't much money, that's where everything shifted. And I've noticed with myself and with all of my other clients, that first client is critical. The sooner you get that, the better. And the beauty of consulting is that we get you that real quick. And you can get started right now with the skills that you already have or can quickly learn. And you can work from anywhere in the world, from your own home or on your own time and have total freedom. So with my consulting business, I could decide tonight that I wanted to go to Spain and work there tomorrow. It is literally like that. And consulting is a business that you can be proud of and put your name to. And I know there's a lot of people out there that start these businesses just to make money. And whenever you do something just to make money, you're never really that proud of it. And you feel kind of sketchy and shady and you don't want to tell your friends or family about it. And I've found that when you can't be proud of what it is that you do, you're never going to be very good at it. And the beauty of consulting is that it's a business that you can really be proud of, develop mastery in, and really put your name to it. And that makes a world of difference. And some of you might be thinking, but what if I'm not cut out for consulting? And most people think, oh, I'm not a consultant, or I'm not cut out for consulting. I don't think I could be a consultant. And the truth is that most people have some huge misconceptions about consulting, and I want to clear those up right now. So here's what people think. To be a consultant, you need a college degree and fancy credentials. Or to be a consultant, you need to be in the US, have a fancy office, suit and staff. Or to be a consultant, you need to be all corporate-y and meet with big businesses in person. Or consultants charge time for money and have to travel all the time. Or you can only be a consultant in things like supply chain management or management, IT, HR, and other really formal, stale business things. And guys, none of these things are true. They're all just misconceptions that people have about consulting. And I didn't have any of these things. And pretty much all of my clients didn't have any of these things either. And we've all been tremendously successful. So these things are just flat out wrong. And you might be thinking, but if that's not a consultant, then what is? Like, what is a consultant really? And here's the definition of consulting from the dictionary. So it says, engaged in the business of giving expert advice to people working in a specific field. So there's two key pieces. One, expert advice, and two, specific field. So all you really need to do is focus on a specific group of people and then help them solve a problem with some advice. And if you're doing that in any way, shape or form, then that is consulting. And the truth is that anybody can be a consultant on anything. You don't have to be in formal business or corporate business. You don't have to wear a suit and tie. You know, I've shown you some of my case studies like Hunter, who is a consultant in porn addiction. And another one of my clients, Brittany, who's a consultant in binge eating. You know, these are not formal business things, and these people are tremendously successful at it. So you can be a consultant in anything. And the only thing that defines a consultant is that they provide advice to a specific group of people. Now what I want to do is show you the only 3 things that you need to have a 6-figure consulting business. So I'm going to show you these 3 things, and if you have these 3 things, then there is no way you can't be successful and making a lot of money as a consultant. And I see these days most people try to do everything when it comes to running a business and attracting clients. And this is what they do. So they start a blog and they start creating all of this content. And then they create a Facebook fan page and start posting there. Then they get an Instagram account. And then they're on Snapchat doing stories and all these other things. And then, of course, they've got to have a YouTube channel. So now they've got to film all of these videos. And then they've got to have a podcast. And then they've got to go and speak on stages and at all of these different events. And then, of course, they have to have an Amazon bestseller. And then they have to be featured on Fox and CNN and all of these other things. And then, they need a New York Times bestseller. That's what they need. And then they think they need this fancy website that's mobile responsive and has all these flashing bells and things on it. And then they think they need a Twitter account, and they need to be active on that, and a LinkedIn account. And then, of course, they need to be on Oprah, and they need to be on Facebook Live and posting pretty much every day of what sandwich or what yogurt they ate or some cool dog they found. And guys, this is just madness. And this couldn't be further from the truth. And this is what these people are like. They are literally like a rat on a wheel, just chasing after an impossible goal. They think that in order to be successful, you have to do everything. And they're chasing this dream. They're chasing the dragon. And they're propping themselves up with coffee and all of these different things. They're stressed out of their mind. And they're working so hard, but nothing is coming of it. And I know this well because this used to be me. And it just didn't work. And all it ended in was a lot of heartache and a lot of failure. And the truth is, it's about doing less, not more. And it's about focusing on one thing, not 20. So when it comes to starting a successful consulting business, you want to focus on 1 to 3 things, and that's it. And here's the 3 things. Number 1, you need to rewire your brain and become a new person. Number 2, you need a niche and an offer that provides value to people. And number 3, you need a proven and repeatable process to attract and convert clients. And if you have all 3 of these things, there is no way that you are not successful as a consultant, making money and having a whole lot of fun with it at the same time. So you know what the 3 things are. Now let's drill into them and cover each one so that you can start implementing it yourself today. So number 1, you need to rewire your brain and become a different person. Now some of you are probably thinking, but Sam, what does this have to do with business? And have you ever wondered, I told you my story before of how I made that massive transformation. Have you ever wondered how I went from broke in a garage in New Zealand too shy to leave the house, and then seemingly out of nowhere, to owning Consulting.com, making over $20 million, and changing the rules of the game for consulting as an industry? Or have you ever wondered how seemingly out of nowhere again helped record numbers of others achieve what's considered impossible? How? My logo was made in Keynote. I just got into Keynote and I just wrote Sam Ovens, screenshot it, that was my logo. And my websites had spelling mistakes and broken opt-in form for 3 years running. I've never had any business cards. I have no phone number listed on my website. My last blog post was 2.5 years ago. I don't have Snapchat at all. I don't know what it is or how to use it. I have no Instagram. My Twitter account is truly pathetic. And I post on Facebook once every month, and that's on a hot month. And I've written 0 books. I've spoken on 0 stages. And I've been on Oprah 0 times. And I don't have a college degree. In fact, I don't have any certificate of any kind, not even the free, easy ones that you can get online. I have none of it. And so really, how did I achieve what other people can't achieve? By not doing anything that everyone tells you that you're supposed to do. How did I break all the rules but then get the goal? How did I do it? Well, I transcended myself. And what does that mean? Well, I realized that the biggest blocker to my success was myself. I was my own worst enemy. And I doubted that I could do anything in life. And here's, some of the things I struggled with. I wanted to do something big by starting a business, but I was so afraid to face the day that I couldn't get out of bed. And it was crazy. Why would I dream of doing this thing, quit my job and then go to do it, but then just be paralyzed and stuck in bed, unable to do it? And I wanted to do sales calls and get customers. That's what I wanted. But I was too afraid to speak on the phone, and I just procrastinated like crazy. And I wanted to be confident and worthy of success, but I couldn't face talking to customers, and I always felt unworthy. And I wanted to be productive, mentally sharp, and get things done, but I was constantly trying to escape the pain. And I wanted to save money and be responsible, but then I'd always spend surplus funds and regret it. And I tried to fix the problem using logical and tactical things, but it didn't work. And I read books, I learned tons of new information, I improved my skills and watched motivational videos, but it didn't matter how much effort I put in. I was still spinning my tires with nothing to show for it. It was like something was holding me back. It was like there was a dark force that had me by the heels and was pulling me in. And this thing haunted me. Whatever I wanted to do in life, it was right there behind me, breathing down my neck. And it had me in its grips. And for years I wondered what this cruel thing was that was haunting my existence, only to figure out that it was me. And I had met the enemy, and the enemy was myself. And you're wondering why I'm saying all of this? Why are we talking about this stuff? Well, this webinar is about starting your own consulting business, getting clients, and making money. But after witnessing 10,000 of my students try to become successful consultants, make money, and build a life that they want, I've noticed that there's one thing in common with all of their successes. When they achieve success, they are not the same person that they were before. And it's the same case with me too. Who I am today is not who I was back then when I got started. And who you are right now is not who you'll be when you achieve the things that you want. And why do you need to change? You might be thinking this. Why? Well, the biggest issue I see entrepreneurs face is what I call an identity crisis. And you might be thinking, well, what's that? Well, an entrepreneur identity crisis is when you have conflict and an internal war of these two selves. So you've got who you are right now, which is who you think you are, your perceived self. And then you've got this other person which you need to become so that you can start your own business and achieve your dreams. And these two characters are out of alignment. They're in conflict with each other, and they're at war with each other. And in order to achieve your goals and your dreams, you need to act like this person, but then you always feel like a fraud and an imposter and just a cheater because this isn't who you are. And everything in your body and your mind is just screaming at you. Just don't do this. And that's why so many entrepreneurs just get paralyzed. It's because they have this conflict of self and this war between who they are now and who they need to become. And personally, just to give you some examples, me, back when I got started, I was extremely shy and anxious. And I was too scared to call anyone. I would procrastinate making calls to companies for weeks. And I had a huge fear of rejection. I could hardly handle it. And I had a very low self-esteem. I would procrastinate like crazy. And I had a poor track record. In fact, I had none, a 0 track record. And I was always obsessed with my stories about the past, and I couldn't get out of my head. And I felt undeserving, and I had a huge fear of competition. And that was me and who I was. This is who I thought I was. And then there was a different me required to achieve my dreams. And this person was outgoing. I needed to be outgoing. Needed the ability to call people, the ability to handle rejection, needed to feel worthy, the ability to act today and take action. I needed a success track record, and I needed the ability to compete and the ability to focus. And there was this gap between these two things, and I call this the gap. And it's the gap between who you are right now and who you need to become to achieve your dreams. And you might be thinking, but that can't be done. I can't become someone who I'm not. That's not true. I've transcended myself multiple times over. My journey from 0 to more than 20 million, well, I've had to shed my character multiple times over. I've had to keep growing into a new person again and again and again to achieve those next levels. And I was blind, but now I see. And not just myself. I've helped record numbers of others achieve what's considered impossible by helping them transcend themselves too. And now I'm going to show you how it's done. Now you know why it's important and everything behind it, but let's show you how to actually do it for yourself right now. And we're going to talk about hacking your brain. And most people have no idea how their brain actually works. And most people believe that what they see and what they think is the truth. And, if most people were just looking at a tree out in a field or something, they'd be like, that is a tree, that tree is solid, that tree is green, and that is a tree, that is a fact. And there's no ifs or buts, that is just a fact, that is what it is. It's what most people think. But this is actually how it works. What you can see, you don't actually see with your eyes. Your brain is the thing that creates the image. All your eyes do is receive information, sensory information coming in. So your eyes receive the sensory information, and then your brain gets this data, and it basically computes it, and then it has a guess at what it actually is. And then when it thinks it knows what it is, it projects an image up that you can see. And so you don't actually see with your eyes. You don't hear with your ears. You hear and see with your brain. And it really, what we're really seeing isn't really like what we can see. It's just more of our brain's guess. And what you believe to be true affects your perception of reality. And I can imagine a lot of people are like, no way, I don't believe you. Well, watch this. So here's a simple image, and we've got A and B. And I'm pretty sure everyone will agree with me that A and B don't look like the same color. B looks like it is lighter than A. And let me know in the questions box if you think B is lighter. Awesome. So pretty much everyone think it's obvious that B is lighter than A, right? It's obvious. But watch this. So on the other side of the screen here, we can see that it's actually the same color. A and B are the exact same color. Look. Drag this over. They're the exact same color. So what's actually happening is because there's a shadow there, your brain is really fooling you. Your brain thinks that it should be a different color when it's actually not. So your eyes are receiving the same information in this example here as they are in this example here, but your brain is projecting a different image, and it's fooling you. And that was an example of your eyes receiving the same information, but your brain seeing a different image. Now let's try your ears and your brain. So take a listen to this. And have another listen. So you can't hear anything, right? It's just some strange sounds. But what about this? Try listening to this one. I think consulting is a really good idea. So you heard some words. Well, let's try that strange sound again. And one more time. And so what's actually happening is your eyes and your ears, they're receiving the same sensory input. You saw the same thing, you heard the same noise, right? The same data is coming in. But what's actually changing is your brain's best guess at what caused it. So you're getting the same input, but your brain is producing a different output. And this here is just flat proof that you don't actually see and hear with your eyes and ears. It is your brain and your perception that does that. And what you're experiencing every day isn't actually reality. It's reality exposed to your method of questioning. And your perception of yourself and what you're capable of isn't true. It's not a fact. It's just a perception created by yourself. So when it comes to achieving goals and dreams, the biggest thing standing in your way is your perception of yourself. And most people try to attack each day as themselves, and they get torn apart trying to achieve their dreams because it requires them to be somebody who they are not. And this is the big thing standing in everyone's way. So if this is you right now in your current situation, you and who you think you are and everything, and you want to be over here, and this is where your dream life is and your business and everything is, well, you've got this big thing in the way, the gap. And you right now, you're your current character. That's your current version of yourself and who you think you are. And this is where everyone goes wrong. Everyone tries to achieve their dreams and do all these great things as themselves. But trying to achieve your dreams as this character will end in self-sabotage and internal conflict. And you need to become your new character to achieve your dreams. It's not possible as who you are now. You need to change and grow into a different person. And here's the hack. Instead of struggling to achieve your goals as yourself, you become a new character that's capable of achieving these goals with ease. And you're probably thinking, well, how do I become a new character? How do I become a new version of myself? Well, I've got this thing that I've used personally myself since the beginning, really. And it's called the Alchemy of Self Workbook. And at first I thought that I was just a little bit strange and I was the only person that would use this and get any results with it. But then I just decided, well, I'll tell my clients about it. And so I told them about it, and then it started working for them too. And I was like, whoa, this thing is pretty powerful. I might have stumbled across something here. And I'm going to show you what it is right now. So like I said, it's called the Alchemy of Self Workbook, and we ship this out to our clients, and I'll show you what's inside it. So it has important things to remember, a daily ritual, some performance tracking so we can keep ourselves in line. But the real magic happens here on these 2 pages. And what I decided to do is I just decided to create a new identity for myself. You know, I'd kind of seen it done in movies before, how someone would go and become a new identity. I thought, what if I tried to do that? You know, not that I'm trying to run away from anything or do anything like that, but I just want to actually become a better version of myself. So what happened if I plan it? What if I write it down like I'm designing a movie character or a character from a novel? And so I found some different images from around the internet of kind of things that I liked the look of. And then I wrote out the Sam Ovens identity. So it says, who is Sam Ovens? And I wrote, Sam Ovens is a successful entrepreneur who helps consultants and coaches grow their businesses. And Sam lives in New York City with an amazing apartment with a view over Manhattan. And Sam makes $5 million in revenue with his business and $4 million in net profit. Then I designed like character traits. I said I was driven, punctual, smart, powerful, and classy. And I was none of these things when I designed this, hence why I'm designing a new identity. I was not any of these things here at all. And I didn't live in New York. I was still back in New Zealand, and I made nowhere near this much money, and I wasn't any of these things. And then I even decided to design what I looked like, because I thought, to really bring the whole image together, I have to write that down too. And I thought what I was doing here was just really weird and strange. And so I didn't really tell anyone. I just kind of kept it to myself, and I was like, well, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And so I designed this thing, a couple of years ago. And I keep working on it still to this day. I'm always adding to it and changing it because I'm always evolving and moving. But I designed this when I did not live in this apartment. And what's crazy is that you can see images here of my dream apartment. And I created this workbook before I moved here and before I lived here. And so what's amazing is that all of the things that I actually designed on here, I actually achieved. And I actually grew into the identity that I designed for myself. And more than that, I actually exceeded it by a long way. So you can see here it says Sam makes $5 million with his business. Well, I've already made a lot more than that. And so I actually have exceeded this thing. And so this thing is very powerful. And what you really want to do is design the character that you need to become to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. Stop trying to achieve your goals as who you are now, because it's just going to feel all wrong. You want to look at the goals you need to achieve and design a character that can do them with ease and then grow into it. That is the hack. And this workbook really helps people with that. And you can see there's, a lot of pages in this thing. I design out all this other stuff. And, some of the pages are blurred out at the back here, just for this webinar. But the real book has, a lot of information and a lot of exercises that you can work on to really grow into that character that you need to become to achieve your dreams. And guys, the workbook that I'm handing out at the end of this webinar today, well, I'm going to include those 2 Sam Ovens identity exercises. I'm going to include those templates in this workbook. So you definitely want to hang around till the end so that you can get your hands on that. You don't want to miss it. And by designing your new character, you can consciously grow into it and change your life. And to some of you, this may sound like some woo-woo hippie stuff. But honestly, this changed my life, and it changed my clients' lives too. And here's what they've said. Ring the bell. 2 new clients in 2 days. The mindset game is ultra powerful. I don't recognize myself anymore. Look at the language they're using. Ring the bell. The mindset training got me through. I'm a new man now. And here's another one. Now for the cliche part. I never really took the voodoo mindset stuff seriously, but the mindset training works. And here he's called himself Chris 2.0, and that's like the new version of himself. And so you can see this thing is powerful. It is dangerous. And so that is the first thing that you need to be a successful consultant. You need to rewire your brain and become a new person, because the biggest blocker of your success is always yourself. Now let's cover number 2. You need a niche and an offer that provides value to people. And one of the biggest lessons I've learned in business is how to create value. Because until you understand how to create value, you'll never have anything to sell to people. And to be a successful consultant, you need to be able to create value. I mean, that is what business is about. It's about creating value for others. And how do you do that? How do you actually create value? Well, this is something I never understood, and it is why I always failed. But when I figured it out, things changed. And so now I'm going to show you how to do it yourself. So the best way I can describe it is with this very simple diagram. So right now, everyone on earth has a current situation. That is who they are right now, their situation, it's their existence. That is someone's current situation. But the thing about human beings is they always have a desired situation. Every human being on earth has desires to improve in all sorts of different ways, shapes and forms. So every human has a current situation and a desired situation. And there's always a gap between these things because what they want isn't what they have. And the distance between these two things is what I call the gap. And the reason why people buy things, the reason why people go out there each day, work hard for money and then go and buy things is so that they can get themselves closer to that ideal desired situation that they have got pictured in their mind. That is what makes the global economy tick. That is what makes people do the things that they do because they are chasing this idealistic image of themselves. And that is why people buy things. And when you figure that out, it brings a whole bunch of clarity to it. Now, why do people buy things like consulting services? Why does someone need help to get to where they want to go? Like, why don't they just do it themselves? Well, people buy consulting services for 3 reasons. Number 1, they are unable to get there on their own. Number 2, they want to get there faster. And number 3, they want to use a proven system and have guidance from somebody who has actually done it. So if you want to go and change your life, like let's say you want to lose weight and you've tried to do that before, and it failed, well, if you try to do it again by yourself, it's probably going to fail. And if you try and lose weight by yourself, well, even if you can do it, you're going to do it slow. And there's going to be trip-ups, you're going to stumble, it's going to be hard. And it's because you haven't done it before. But when you pay a consultant to help you with it, they have a proven system for it, and they're an expert at it, and they can help get you there faster, and they can help get you there when you probably would never have been able to get there at all on your own. And that is why people hire consultants. And more than that, it's really why people buy anything. And what you really want to do as a consultant is find a person in a current situation, then find out what their desired situation is, and then craft an offer that can help them get there. You really want to become an expert at helping someone go from their current situation to their desired situation. That really is, in the very essence, what a consultant is. And to create value, you need to help somebody bridge the gap from their current situation to their desired situation. And the best way to do this is by focusing on one specific segment of the market. You can't do that for everyone because everyone's different, so you've got to have some focus. And we call this your niche. And why pick a niche? Well, in business and in life, you need to focus by picking a niche, because the man who chases 2 rabbits catches none. And specialists earn more money, they get more respect, and they have more fun. And there is a classic example I like to use, the general practitioner versus the brain surgeon. General practitioners just sit in a dingy office, they have to see lots of people all the time, they have to work long hours, and they really don't get much respect, they don't have much fun, and they don't get paid very much. But the brain surgeon, on the other hand, they're both doctors. The brain surgeon has the awesome office, the brain surgeon also gets paid about 10 to 100 times more, and they get so much respect, and they get to work less hours and everything. So, in every case, way, shape and form, the specialist beats the generalist. It's all about being a specialist. And your marketing is more powerful, your conversations are more meaningful, and it's much easier to get clients when you know exactly who you should be talking to. And it's hard to be the best in the world at a range of things. In fact, it's impossible. But it's surprisingly easy to be the best at one. And the big money in consulting is when you become the king or queen of your mountain. And you need to define your mountain, climb to the top of it, and then defend it. And when you become the king or queen of your mountain, people will come to you instead of you chasing them. You'll be able to focus on mastering one thing and getting better results for your clients. And generalist consultants are no longer your competition, and they do not stand a chance. And prospects literally beg you to work with them at any price, and you get to pick and choose. And you get to advise instead of do and charge much higher prices. So, you know why you need to define your mountain, you know why you need a niche, so let's get it done. Let's define it right now. So the way to do this is to think about these 3 elements. The first one is the industries that you know or you're interested in. So from your past experience or career or anything, you might be interested in or know some different industries like plumbing or electrical or beauty or Pilates, could be anything, right? Then you've got the market's needs and desires. And so these are the things that the people within those industries or niches, they need and that they want. Like plumbers might be struggling to get clients, right? That might be a need that they have. That's the second thing that is important here. And the third one is the skills that you have or can easily learn. So in order to pick your niche, you really want to look at these 3 things, and then the perfect overlap of these 3 things is what your niche is. And this is where you are most potent and most powerful. And really, I see a lot of people, they believe that the most important thing is that the skills that they have. We live in a generation where people are just going to university for like 20 years and getting all of these different letters to put behind their name and becoming a PhD, HXY, and all of these different things, and they're broke. Worse than that, they're in debt, and they don't know how to do anything in the real world because all they've done is learn from books. And most people believe that the most important thing is the skills that you have, and that couldn't be further from the truth. And this is the most important element, and that is the market's needs and desires. And this was a big lesson in business for me, is that no one cares about you. It's not about you. In business, it's about helping other people. And if you think about yourself and you just try and collect qualifications for yourself, well, that's selfish, and the market isn't going to reward that. The market rewards people who help others. So the most important element is the market's needs and desires and really serving those. So now that you know the variables that make up your niche, let's define them for you right now. So step 1, list 5 industries, niches or groups that you know. And these can be anything. Forget about whether or not you think you can add value to the niche. Just write some things down and get into the habit of taking action. So grab a pen and paper and write down 5 industries, niches or groups that you know. And examples could be plumbers, newlywed couples, young women experiencing binge eating issues, or anything else. And what you want to do is just write them down. Boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Step 2, researching the market's needs and desires. So once you've listed your industries and skills, it's time to start getting inside their heads and figuring out what makes them tick. And to do this, you need to do some research and get outside of your own head, because you're not them. And you know you have done this exercise properly when you can accurately write a day in your prospect's diary. So if you could grab a piece of paper, just write a day in it, and slip it in front of your prospect, and they mistake that sheet of paper for their own diary, that is when you know that you know your niche. And there's an exercise that I like to compete for researching any niche and becoming dangerously effective in it almost overnight. So let's look at that right now. So where do we get this information from? Well, you want to start by reading the top 10 blogs in this niche. And you can use BuzzSumo to help you locate those blogs. Then you want to look, what are the most popular posts on those blogs? What are they saying? Now go to the comment sections on the blogs. What are people saying? What are they arguing about? You know, arguments are great to kind of observe because they tell you the different points and frustrations and desires that people have. And those are the things that make them tick. Then you want to look, what are the top 10 books in the niche? Go to Amazon.com, search for the niche with the keyword books, see what the top 10 are, buy them, have a look at them, what are they saying? And what are the top 10 influencers in the niche? Who are they? What are they saying? And guys, all of this stuff here is real evidence and clues and insights into what makes this niche tick. And do you remember the most important variable? It was the market's needs and desires. Remember I said this is the most important. And this brings us to step 3. Skill set you have or can easily learn. So you want to take inventory of your current skill set first to see if you can use them to solve people's problems. But don't stress if you don't currently have the skill set. So I'll give you an example here to really make this clear to you. So let's say I choose plumbers as the industry that I know. And then I look at the needs and desires of plumbers. And I research that niche. And I find out that they need help getting clients, right? And specifically hot water cylinder repair clients. And then, so now I can see the niche, I've got that selected, now I can see their problem. There's a true market need there. And so I've got these 2 elements here, but now I need the skills to actually help the plumbers get the clients so that I can help them. Now, so that's how it could line up. Now, a lot of people think, oh, if I don't have the skills necessary to help that particular niche solve the problem that they have, they think it's just game over. And they think, oh, I can't do this. But guys, don't stress out if you don't currently have the skill set. I told you that when I got started, I found just local businesses, I researched that niche, I found out that they needed help getting clients online, and I didn't have the skills. I didn't know what to do. I barely knew how to do anything. But I decided that I was going to believe in my ability to figure it out. I decided to buy some books on Amazon and start researching it. And, I told my client that, I would really help him, and I told him that I was just getting started. And, when you believe in your ability to figure it out, other people will believe in your ability to figure it out too. And so it's not about having everything already. It's about finding a niche, finding a problem that they've got, and then acquiring the skills necessary to solve it. That is the trick. Because when you focus on solving one problem, it's amazing how easy it is to solve it and acquire the skills necessary to do so. So you want to find a niche, find a painful problem or powerful desire, and then believe in your ability to figure it out and acquire the skills necessary to do so. And when you have these 3 things aligned, I call it the perfect storm of variables. Because when these 3 things come together, they are powerful. And there's no way that you can have these 3 things properly aligned and not be making an absolute killing. So we've covered how to create value and how to pick your niche. But another big problem I see consultants make is communicating what they do and who they help. And you ask most consultants what they do, and they just squirm and say, I help people with their business. And then you ask them again, you're like, what do you mean? Like, what businesses? And they're like, I just help people with their businesses, help grow it. And it just sounds weird and kind of awkward and kind of stuttering. And if that is you, or if you don't know how to clearly articulate what it is that you do, you're in trouble. So here's a simple formula for defining what you do and who you help as a consultant. And it goes like this. I help blank to blank by blank. And so what we do is we plug 3 different variables into this formula to get our message. So it is I help niche to get result by offer. So if you were helping, you could say, I help women who suffer from binge eating to become free of binge eating by my 6-week coaching program. Or you could say, I help plumbers to get hot water cylinder repair clients by Google AdWords or Instagram marketing. Or I help women over 40 lose weight through Pilates. Or I help men looking for a wife or a girlfriend to find their ideal wife or girlfriend by, this 6-week process, right? I help a particular group of people to get the thing that they desire by this method and skill set that I have that works. This is what I call the consulting equation. And when you get these 3 things balanced and aligned correctly, the consulting business, it really is impossible for it not to make a disgusting amount of profit. Now, let's bring all of this together, because we've covered a lot of ground. So right now, you know how to create value by understanding a market's current situation and their desired situation. And you know that a consultant is somebody who helps a particular niche bridge the gap between these two. And you know the importance of picking a niche and defining your mountain. And you know how to pick your niche using a combination of the 3 variables, which is what I call the perfect storm. And you know how to define what you do and who you help using that simple I help blank to blank by blank formula. And guys, I'm going to be handing out at the end of this webinar this workbook, and I'm going to put in 2 slides that are on how to create value and how to pick your niche. I'm going to put in some exercises into this workbook that I'm handing out at the end, so you definitely want to stick around for that. Now, knowing how to create value, pick a niche, and clearly define what I do completely changed my business. And it completely changed my clients' businesses too. And here's Nick. He says the importance of a niche and taking action. And since then, he has made over 20 grand this month by getting his niche dialed in. And here's Ben. He says, ring it. 2 months of actually doing the work, and he got his first client in his new niche, which is recording studios. And here's Christine. She says, ring the bell. My dream client emailed me out of the blue, and it's because she had her niche dialed in. So that is number 2 ticked off and done. Now let's get to number 3. But first of all, how are you guys enjoying this webinar so far? Just give me a yes. Why yes in the questions box if you're enjoying it? Awesome. Well, I've got good news. It's about to get better. Because what we're going to talk about right now is how to get clients and how to attract clients. And this is a really awesome thing that I can't wait to share with you. So this is about to get better. So step 3, you need a proven and repeatable process to attract and convert clients. Now, what I'm about to share with you is the exact same strategy that myself and my clients use to generate 5, 10, 20, even 30 high-value clients per month with absolute predictability. But before we jump into that, let's discuss the major problem that most people make when it comes to getting clients, because it just makes me sick when I see this stuff. And I call it hope marketing. And it's disturbing. And it's what pretty much every entrepreneur and consultant and coach and service provider does out there today. It goes like this. So most people have no proven rinse and repeat way to attract clients to their business. And they arrive in the office by 9 a.m. or their home office, whatever it is, and they get down on one knee and they pray to God that today the phone rings with work. And they attempt random acts of marketing using the latest fad or trend, but nothing ever works and nothing ever sticks. And they experience feast or famine income as they get 1 to 2 clients one month and then nothing the next, and their income is on this roller coaster. And every day is spent worrying about where their next client is going to come from. And they're constantly in survival mode, but they're paralyzed with fear and unable to act because they don't know what to do. And this is a horrible state to be in, because on one side of it, you're in survival mode. You need to get clients and make money, otherwise you're in trouble, right? But on the other side of it, the person can't move. They're paralyzed with fear. They can't even act. So it's like needing to act to survive, but not being able to. It's a horrible place, and it's where most people live when they're starting their consulting businesses or any business. They are just stuck in this state. And they operate their business using a strategy less successful than a drunken bet in Las Vegas. And they gamble their future, and worse, they gamble their family's future with spine-chilling chance. And if you want to run a successful consulting business, you must have a proven rinse and repeat process for attracting and converting clients. So how do we do that? Well, we have a proven process that I have mastered and developed and honed and refined over the years, and now I'm going to show it to you, the real thing that I use and my clients use right now. So here's how it goes. Number 1 is we use Facebook ads. 2, landing page. 3, value video. 4, calendar. 5, survey. And 6, call. Now, I know these might not make much sense to you right now, but that's the high-level view of it, and now what I'm going to do is drill down into each one and show you how it works and how to set it up for yourself. So let's get to work. Number 1, Facebook ads. So right now, Facebook is the number 1 place to get clients for your consulting business. And there has never been an easier time to target the perfect client online and for so little. And step 1 is setting the targeting. Step 1 on Facebook is you've got to select your target. Who are you going to show your ads to? And Facebook is an amazing tool. You can basically go in, select the country, United States or whatever, the age, the gender, then you could select the interest. You could just type in plumbing and then business owner, and then boom, Facebook runs the search and it's like, well, there's 57,000 people that match this. And that sounds about right. It's probably pretty damn accurate. So just like that, you can take all plumbers in America and just put them into a little group and show a message to them. So step 1 is the targeting. And this is impossible without a niche. You just can't target everyone doing everything. So that's why a niche is so important, because you need to be able to focus it in like this to be able to get any results. And step 2 is creating the ad. So you need to have an audience and you need to put an ad in front of them. So how do we create the ad? Well, it's pretty simple. You just say something like, are you a plumbing business owner looking to attract new customers? And then you could find an image on Google Images of a plumber. And this is because we know that we're targeting plumbers because we've got focus, we've got a niche, and we've researched our niche and we know that they have a problem getting customers. So we've got those two things aligned, and we know this is going to really spark them and it's really going to strike a nerve with them because we've researched it and we know that they struggle with this. This is what makes it powerful. And when we use Facebook ads to advertise to any niche really, on average we pay about $1 per click. So we show an ad to someone like a plumber, and when they click on it, we have to pay Facebook $1. And this number won't make much sense right now, but once I've walked you through this whole process, everything will be clear to you and you'll understand. So step 2 is the landing page. So a landing page is a website that asks, well, a web page that asks people for their email address in exchange for useful content. And we can build these within minutes and with zero tech skills. And we convert visitors to leads at a rate of about 33%, which means that if 100 people came to our landing page because they clicked on our ad, then 33 of them would enter in their email to get the free training, and 77 of them would leave, right? 33%. And a landing page is very simple, it's very easy to build, and it looks something like this. So you could say, exclusive free training for plumbing business owners. How to attract 20 new hot water cylinder repair clients every month. Enter your email address, and then we'll give you the training. Very simple. And we know this will strike a nerve because we did our research. And so at 33% conversion, that means we're paying $3 a lead. So, for example, let's say 100 people click, and that costs us $100. 33 people enter in their email, so now 100 divided by 33, we're going to end up with 3. So $3 per lead, $3 per person who enters their email address. Now the third step, the value video. So a value video is a 5-minute to 15-minute video where we provide value to our prospect in the form of a training video. So we just say something like, hey, look, are you a plumber that's struggling with this problem, which we know they have because we've done our research, and then we provide them with some useful information to prove that we really know what we're talking about, and then at the end we ask them to let us know if they would like additional help. That's basically the gist of a value video. And we can record this ourselves using PowerPoint or Keynote and screen recording software that is free in less than 1 hour's time. It's very simple and easy to do and low tech. And you want to start by talking about the problem, then the solution, and then at the end, you ask your prospects to reach out if they would like to learn more. And what will happen is 10% of the people who opt in for your value video will take you up on your offer and schedule a call with you. So what this means, if 100 people give you their email address, then about 10 of them will schedule a call with you. That's a 10% conversion rate. And the value video page could just look something like this. It could say, step 1, watch this video. They could watch the video, then step 2, apply now to see if you qualify. And they just click this button to schedule a call with us. And so we're paying about $3 per video viewer because it's $3 for someone to enter in their email, then they're watching the video. So $3 per video viewer. Now, step 4, the calendar. So at the end of our value video, we make an option to at the end of our value video, we make an offer to our prospects by asking them to schedule a time to speak with us on the phone if they'd like additional information. And we use a custom scheduling software tool so that our prospects can see our current availability and schedule a time with us right away without any tedious communication. And this makes it easy for our prospects to schedule a time with us, and it saves us a ton of time. I'm sure you've tried to schedule an appointment or even just a coffee with someone before, and it's a nightmare, right? So imagine trying to schedule all these appointments with all these people. It's a nightmare too. But when you have this special calendar, it is easy. We remove the friction, and by removing the friction, we get lots of people to take the action. And we convert video viewers to scheduled appointments at a rate of 10% plus. That means that if 100 people are watching the video, and that means that 10 of them will schedule an appointment with us. And here's a quick screenshot of what this step in the process looks like. So it would say, schedule your breakthrough strategy session with Sam right now, and the prospect could just see what time we have available in our calendar, click on it, and it would connect to our calendar, see what time we've got available. It would always reflect our true availability. They could schedule it in, and boom, right then and there, they've connected with us, and they're in our calendar, ready to speak. And so because we get a 10% conversion, that means that we're paying about $30 per scheduled appointment in our calendar. And how that works is if we're paying $3 per video viewer, then it's obviously going to be $30 per appointment at a 10% conversion rate. So then step 5, the survey. So we get our prospects to complete a survey so that we can determine if they're a good fit for working with us. We don't want to work with anyone. We don't want to work with tire kickers or people that shouldn't be talking to us because they're not even in the right niche. So we need to get a survey in order to really police and protect our time. So we don't want to get on the phone with just anybody. Like I said, we want to make sure the prospects are worth our time. And in the survey, you want to have some basic questions like business size, business revenue, their biggest problem right now, and how committed they are to working with you and fixing this problem. Or if you're in a niche that's not about just making money, you could be in a niche that's asking people about losing weight. Well, then you'd ask them like, what are you currently struggling with right now? How would you describe your situation now? And how would you describe the situation you want to get to? And what's the thing that's really blocking you? And what's the thing that's in the way? And this survey page, very simple, it could look like this. Step 2 of 2, please complete the survey, and it just would have some fields here with some questions. And they'd get this after they complete the calendar, they'd fill this information out and hit this schedule session, and this email would go to us, we could check it and see if they're a good fit for working with us or not. So we get people scheduled into our calendar and they complete the survey for $30 each. That means that we get calls with qualified prospects in our niche that have the problem that we solve. And they're coming to us. We're not chasing them. They're coming to us, and they're scheduling right into our calendar, all with an automated system, and they're doing it all the time. Like, how would you like to pay $30 for a qualified scheduled appointment with someone in your niche who has the problem that you solve? And imagine getting them in your calendar for just $30 each. And how well does this work? You might be thinking, oh, this is good in theory, but how do I know this thing actually works? Well, this is what my calendar looks like in about 2 days of turning on this system. So if I want to get clients, I can just turn on the system, turn on my ads, and woof, my calendar just packs up like that real quick. I've just got back-to-back appointments, and these are with qualified people in my niche who have the problem that I solve. And not a single day goes by where I don't have 10 to 20 new appointments in my calendar to cherry-pick from. And it's not just me. My clients are able to do this too. Here's what some of them are saying. Ringing the bell. For my first Facebook ad where I spent $50, I've gotten 4 clients and made $9,400 so far. That is awesome. And she helps horse riders. So again, not a business niche. And here's Angela. Success. I turned on a new ad campaign this weekend, and tomorrow I have back-to-back calls, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Let's ring some bells. And here's Frank. He says he spent $485 on Facebook, and he got 11 strategy sessions, which is 44 each, and he got 3 clients at $5,000. So that means he spent $500 and made $15,000. I mean, how would you like to spend $500 and make $15,000? I mean, it's not very hard. It's a no-brainer, really. Everyone would want to do that, and that's what the system allows you to do. And so that is that step in the process. Now let's talk about the 6th and final step, which is the call. And when it comes to consulting sales calls, I've got this down to an absolute science. And so remember how I told you how we create value as a consultant or as anyone in the world doing anything? Well, people have their current situation. And then people have their desired situation. And there is a gap in between these two things. But what we really want to do on the sales call is identify this current situation and really get it clear. We want to really clearly understand this current situation. We want to crystallize it. Then we want to understand the prospect's desired situation. We want to crystallize it. We want to get a clear understanding of the gap that exists here. And then we want to understand why they're not able to get there themselves. What is the problem? And then we want to position ourselves and our consulting offer as the vehicle to help the prospect bridge this gap between these two situations. So we're ideally helping these people get where they want to go. And truly masterful salesmen create separation between the current situation and the desired situation, and they bring clarity to their prospects. And they really get them to clearly see, here's where you are now, here's where you want to go. Because a lot of prospects all the time, they're frantic, and they've got a scattered mind. They don't even know really what they want, but they just feel anxious and stressed. So that is what truly masterful salesmen do. They crystallize them, the states. And then they position themselves and their offer as the key to that desired situation. And to put it simply, truly masterful salesmen don't sell things. They sell futures. And when it comes to sales, I've mastered this. And, I've done over 1,500 calls, probably 2,000 calls by now. And I've recorded all of them, and I studied them. And I wanted to know what works and what doesn't when it comes to converting people into clients for consulting. And I turned it into a script called the Alchemic Conversion Script. And the Alchemic Conversion Script is a clearly documented methodology and step-by-step process for converting a total stranger into a high-paying client with one phone call, just one of them. And now I'm going to show you what it looks like. So just like the other workbook, this is another one that I've got which we ship out to all of our clients, the Alchemic Conversion Script. And so you see it starts with like pre-call preparation, what to do before the call, and then part 1, like small chat, part 2, stating the agenda, taking the lead, part 3, figuring out why they're here, then understanding their current situation, and it's a full 12-step process that we take someone through in order to convert them from someone who knows nothing about us at all, they're a total stranger, to a high-paying client with just one phone call. And I've blurred out the rest of the pages here because this is, I'm not giving it all away on this webinar, but what I am going to do is I'm going to include some of the pages from the sales script in this handout at the end of the webinar. So this consulting workbook I'm going to be handing out, I'm going to be giving you some of these excerpts from the sales script and also a summary of our consulting process and our client attraction process. It's going to be included in that handout at the end, so make sure you hang around for that. And now when we do this process correctly and we do the calls correctly, we convert 20% of the people we speak to on the phone into paying customers. That means if 5 people spoke with us on the phone, 1 would become a client. Or if 100 spoke to us, 20 would become clients. And if we're paying $30 per call and we're converting them at 20%, that means that we're acquiring customers at $150 each. How would you like to acquire customers at $150 each? And this sales script is dangerously effective. And it's helped me make over $20 million, and I haven't had a very long sales career. And it's helped my clients make over $400 million. And this isn't some made-up number. We surveyed our clients, we have all of their reviews on our website, and together they've made over $400 million in a short amount of time using this script. And here's some of the things they've said about it. The sales script is just magic. Today I closed my first deals for $5,000. Bang. Here's Greg. Special thanks to Sam Ovens. So especially the phone sales script. I printed out and followed as closely as I can for each call. His sales script alone is worth the price of the program. Here's Lathan. Guys, I'm about in tears looking at this. And you can see his bank balance is $417,000, right? When he started this course with me, he said he had a little over $30,000. And now he feels like he is waking up in a dream and he's almost in tears looking at this. This is how powerful this sales script is. It is a weapon. Now, let's talk about pricing your services, because I see people royally mess this one up every day. And now I'm going to show you the secret to really pricing your consulting or coaching services. So first of all, forget about what it costs you. Forget about how much time it takes you. Forget about how many pages you've got to print. No, it's not about that. We're not in the Industrial Revolution anymore. Forget about what it costs you. It's not important. It's irrelevant. Forget about how much time it takes you. Forget about the hours you put in. Those are archaic methods for pricing things. And focus on what it is worth to your prospect to have their problem solved. So don't look at how much it costs you. That's not relevant. The only thing that's important is what does the prospect stand to gain if we actually help them achieve what they want to achieve. A lot of people think that everything in the world is just about being cheap. That's not true. People just want to solve their problem and get to where they want to go. And if the thing can truly help them get there, they don't really care what the price is. So it's not about price, it's not about cost, it's not about time, it's about none of those things. It's only about getting your prospect where they want to go. What's that worth to them? And nobody cares about how much work you do or how much cost you incur. The only thing they care about is the problem. And if you don't believe me, well, let's take a trip to the dentist to put this in perspective. So the best way I can describe this, a lot of people, they think that how many hours they work on something and how much they sweat on something, that is important, but it's not. And I'm going to put this in perspective for you right now with this. So imagine you've got a sore tooth and you go to the dentist, and the dentist says, okay, I can pull this tooth out for you, I can fix the problem, but it's going to cost you $500 and it's going to take me 5 minutes. And then you reply and you're like, 5 minutes, $500? That doesn't sound fair. And then the dentist replies back to you and he says, well, I can take 2 hours if you want. What are you going to do? There is no way you're going to want him to take 2 hours. And this is really evidence that it's not about the time. It's not about the cost. The only thing that's important is solving the problem. And that is how you want to that is how you want to price your consulting services, based on the value it brings to your prospects to get it done. And when you choose your niche and problem that you solve correctly, you should be able to charge anywhere from $3,000 to $30,000 per client. And if you can't charge at least $2,000, then you're not solving a significant enough problem. And when I show my clients what to do, I make sure that all of them are pricing above $2,000, because it's too hard to make money if you're pricing below that. You need to have your prices at least at that, or really above. And if you can't do that, then the problem that you're trying to solve just isn't relevant enough. Now let's do some math, because most people have no idea how easy it is to make $100,000 a year consulting. So when you execute this process correctly, you should get at least 3 to 4 new clients per month every month. And at $2,000 a month, that's $6,000 to $8,000 in new monthly recurring revenue that's going to come in month after month. And over the course of 1 year, that's $72,000 to $96,000 a year from just 3 to 4 new consulting clients. So what that means is that by just getting 3 to 4 new clients at $2,000 a month, that's $100,000 a year. And you could easily do that in 1 month if you put this process into action the right way. And when you set up and run your consulting business the right way, it is effortless to attract at least 3 to 4 new clients and produce $100,000 a year. And to make $100,000 a year in a job, it takes qualifications. It takes a lot of qualifications. It takes decades of work experience in climbing the ladder, slave-like hours. And even then, most people never even get close to $100,000 a year in their life. I've got friends that did like first-class honors degrees in law, and they've got like 100 grand student debt, and they've been working their asses off, and they're still not at 100 grand. And guys, if people are like the smartest of the smartest and they've got 100 grand in student debt and they've worked for that long and they're still not making 100 grand, then something is seriously wrong. Because when you start a consulting business, 100 grand is so easy that it's considered a hygiene standard. Now, at this point of the webinar, you basically have two options. Number one, go at it alone and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars figuring this stuff out, getting frustrated and wasting 3 to 10 years of your life. Or option number two, learn the proven system from somebody who has not just done it, but has truly mastered it and is the best in the world at it. And now I want to introduce you to the Consulting Accelerator. And what is the Consulting Accelerator? Well, it's a 6-week online course that shows you how to start your own consulting business and get your first high-value client in just 42 days' time. And it's a 6-week online training program that goes into everything in detail, step by step, every little facet of everything. It's a step-by-step instruction manual. And it consists of recorded videos, worksheets, templates, and swipe files so that you can shortcut your success by years. And you can log in to access the content anytime you like from anywhere in the world. And it's designed to help you start your own consulting business and change you, your life, and your finances. And this training program is like nothing else you've ever seen before. And here's what makes it different. And really, what I wanted to do is study what makes people change. Like, I went through the ringer trying to figure out, like, how to change my life. Like, I was working in corporate, then I wanted to start my own business, and I failed miserably. I fell flat on my face and then got dragged behind a car. And it really did suck. It took me a lot of time, and it really hurt. And then when I figured things out through trial and error, I became successful. And I was really fascinated, what things did I really experience and encounter that helped that change happen? And I started studying it. And then I thought, well, what if we helped other people go through those things without all of that trial and error, without all of that pain? And that's really the premise for how I created this program. And I call it the perfectly engineered change agent, because it really is like a chemical compound that comes into contact with someone and helps them change their life. And it consists of these 4 sections. Number 1, a proven process. Number 2, a new paradigm, so a new way to think and a new way to perceive the world. And number 3, a winning community and an environment of others to be around all the time. And expert mentorship, people to talk to, and not just normal people, but people who are millionaires, how to get advice from people who are crushing it. These 4 things, if you don't have these 4 things in place, change is pretty much impossible. And a lot of people, they just provide a process or they just provide a community, but it doesn't work. Unless you have these 4 things together, change won't happen. And so that's what this Consulting Accelerator program is. It's the perfectly engineered change agent, and we crush each one of these, and you get all of them. So let's cover the proven process first of all. So I spent 6 years of my life figuring out what works and what doesn't when it comes to starting your own consulting business from absolute scratch. And I was in the trenches on the front lines of capitalism figuring this stuff out for myself. And it hurt. And to acquire this knowledge and develop the training program to this level, it's cost me more than $10 million. I've personally invested my own money, more than $10 million, into this to get it to where it is today. And there has been 16 different iterations of it to get it to where it is. And this has been tested on 10,000 real people from all over the world, and it has produced results like nothing else on the face of this earth, and then some. And in a very real sense, this is my life's work. And here's what we cover in this proven process. So we break it into weeks. In week 1, we cover fundamentals and foundations. Week 2, the new paradigm and worldview. Week 3, the alchemy of client conversion. Week 4, the alchemy of client attraction. Week 5, fractal Facebook evolution. And then week 6, minimum viable service delivery. So now you know the high-level view. Let's drill down into each week. So week 1, fundamentals and foundations. So here I show you how to pick your own unique niche, regardless of your background, skills, education. And how to craft your minimum viable offer that will provide value to your clients. And how to select the right consulting business model for your niche and your offer. And how to price your offer so that it's at least $2,000 to $4,000 from day 1. And how to take a view on the market and differentiate yourself from the competition so you don't just look like everyone else. And how to craft a message that resonates deep into your niche's bones and provokes them to take action. And most people spend 3 to 10 years on this and they still get it wrong. In fact, I see consultants who have been in the game for 20 years and they're still far from this. And we get this dialed in for you in the first 7 days of joining. And let's take a look inside. You know, I've explained it, but let's just show you what it looks like. So here it is, and this is the program. And you can see here you select the week, and here's all the modules within the week. And you go through the training videos, and we provide resources here as well and exercises. And what you do is you go through the work, you tick it off as done, and then you go to the action items, which are things that you need to complete and actually take action on. And you can upload these and everything to help keep accountable. We even track your progress and everything. And there's a place to ask questions all the time so that you've got a huge amount of support. And that's really what it looks like. And here's what people have said about it. Ring the bell. Sam Ovens, a heartfelt thank you. And he identified a niche market, and that's something he struggled to do for 7 years. And he did it within this program. And here's Hunter, and he says, ring the bell. Couple number 2 on their way to becoming porn-free and repairing their marriage from all the secrets and lies. 3,700 big ones. And here's Rebecca. She says, I just watched the Niche 2.0 video, and it is amazing. I'm doing the market research now, and it is boggling my mind, opening up all sorts of connections, contacts, and insights. Then in week 2, the new paradigm and worldview. So here I show you how to completely rewire your brain for success and think differently and see the world in a whole new way. And I show you how to face your dark side and escape negative behavior patterns that are severely limiting your success, and how to escape the illusion of yourself and grow into a new person that is capable of action and success with ease, and how to be the architect of your life and then reverse engineer it into a daily action items to execute on each day so it becomes clear, crystal clear. And we give you the Alchemy of Self mindset workbook that you can complete and read every day to make massive changes. And I show you how to overcome fear, anxiety, and self-doubt that just plagues most entrepreneurs and paralyzes them from action. And most people don't master their mindset in their entire lifetime. And we get your mind wired right, hacked, reprogrammed in the first 14 days so that you can take violent action and get the results that you want. And let's take a look inside. So if I pull this up here and go to week 2, here is New Paradigm and Worldview, and you can see the modules. The dark force holding your heels, face off with the devil, seeing for the first time. You know, this is some next level stuff in here. And when you watch this stuff, it is going to blow your mind and really help you get past all of those blocks that you've had before. And here's what people are saying about it. Mind blowing. I'm fairly new to this course, and going through the mindset section is absolutely astonishing. Sam Ovens has literally figured it out to a science. Here's Hannah. So I'm in week 2, and the paradigm info is blowing my mind. Totally rate it. Here's Julia. No self-development has shaken me up like this in the longest time, perhaps forever. Then week 3, Alchemy of Client Conversion. So here I show you how to convert total strangers into high-paying clients with 1 phone call and 0 follow-up. And I've done over 1,500 consultations and truly mastered this. I took everything I've learned and refined it into a step-by-step methodology and script that anyone can follow to close sales regardless of experience. It doesn't matter who you are, what your background is, or anything. I can show you how to sell like a master with this process. And I show you how to handle the objections, how to collect the payment on the phone via credit card, and I even provide you and hook you up with a merchant so that you can do that. You know, in order to collect a credit card over the phone or over the internet, you've got to go through this massive process and credit checks and everything, but I've hooked up with a merchant, and we are able to get you set up within like 24 hours. And you don't need credit checks or anything like that, so I've even got that to help you. And you get my actual script. That has helped our clients generate more than $400 million. It's helped me generate more than $20 million. Us together, more than 400 million. And I give you my call recordings too. So I don't just teach you how to do it. I don't just give you the script. I don't just give you the way to handle the objections. I even give you my call recordings so you can listen to how I do it and model off of me and model off what is working. And you get the ability to partner up with other members in the community and practice calls with them. And guys, this is truly invaluable. This is how you get good. This is how you get confident, by practicing with others. Some of you will be ready to hit the ground running and do real calls right away, but some of you will need to warm up a little bit with others in the community, and that's why it's so valuable. And knowing how to sell is a life or death skill as a consultant, and we get you to the top of your game in selling like an absolute animal in the first 21 days. And let's take a look inside at this week. So we go to week 3, and it's called the Alchemy of Client Conversion. And here we go over everything. I provide you with my script. I provide you with instructions on how to edit the script and adjust it to be your own. And, you know, we cover everything. How to deal with, like, self-doubt and everything that gets some salespeople. Everything you can think of, we got it. And here's what people are saying. Mel, I just want to cry my eyes out for how perfect the sales script is and how every step of Sam's Consulting Accelerator training works. It just works. Here's David. I broke 50 grand in less than a 90-day period, and it's an amazing feeling. And I asked for a miracle, and I got it. Thanks to Sam's script, this is possible. And here is another one. Finally, ring the bell. Yesterday I landed not 1, but 2 paying clients and generated nearly 2 grand from just 2 hours of strategy calls. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without the sales script. And this sales script is seriously powerful. Now in week 4, the Alchemy of Client Attraction. So here I show you how to get clients to come to you instead of you chasing them with battle-tested and proven strategies. And I give you 5 organic methods to attract clients quickly and for free. And I give you step-by-step instructions, templates, and examples. So I don't just give you 1 organic method, I give you 5. And organic methods are methods you can use right away that don't cost you anything. Because I know Facebook ads cost money, and some people don't have money to invest on Facebook ads. So we give you these 5 methods first. You use them. Once you get clients, you're making money. Then you can invest that money into Facebook ads and scale up and really crank it up to that next level. And like I said, we want to get you your first few clients within the first 30 days of starting the program. And to do this, we keep it simple, and we use organic methods that are free. And once we get those clients, then we start scaling up because we've got money to spend on ads. And I not only give you the organic methods, I also teach you paid attraction methods too, to attract clients at scale. So I not only show you how to start out if it's just your first client, but I show you how to really ratchet it up to that next level as well. And I give you my proven funnels Facebook advertising techniques, and more. And I also provide you with a proven website template that you can download and install with one click. So I know a lot of people, they're worried about the technology. They're like, oh, I'm going to have to get a website and all of this. Well, everyone who's in my program uses my website template for consulting, and you can just download it and install it with one click. You swap out the information with your information, and boom, you are live. And we also provide you with all of our proven funnels, and I think there's more than 5 of them, and we give them to you again. They're available to download and install yourself with one click. So if you were to go out and build this client process, which we have got and which we have perfected, it would probably take you about a year to perfect, and it would probably cost you about $50,000. Even if you were to go and hire someone to do it for you, it would cost a lot of money, probably 30, 40 grand. Now, when you join this program, you can download it and install it and get it working with one click. And most people spend 6 months to a year before they get their first client. We help you get your first client in the first 30 days. And let's take a look inside at this part. So this is week 4, and it's the Alchemy of Client Attraction. And here I show you organic attraction methods, paid attraction methods. I show you how to assemble the war machine, which is basically the process that we go through to get our first client in the first 30 days. It's so important. That's why we call it the war machine. I also show you how to plan your 30-day attack so that you can make sure that you're successful in that first 30 days. And so this is awesome training right here. It's designed for speed. And here's what people are saying. Holy moly. Set out for 1 client and got 2. I am seriously blown away by this course. Amazing, Sam Evans. Thank you so much. Smash that bell. Here's Singer. Great news. Okay, so after 1 hour sales call, and he got a client for €3,500. And he says, Sam Evans' funnel is really fantastic, and I see that it can work for any industry. And here's Angie. She says that she quit her job and that she did all of this using completely organic methods, no funnel or advertising yet. And she's landed 5 clients on monthly retainers and 10 who have purchased. So, like I said, you don't have to use Facebook ads to get started. We actually recommend that you use free organic methods first. It's simpler, it's faster, it's easier, and then once you've got those clients that way and you're making money, you use that money to invest. And you can see that this is what all the clients do as well. And then week 5, Fractal Facebook Evolution. So at this stage of the training program, you should already have a few clients using our free organic methods. And now we show you step by step how to scale up your consulting business using Facebook ads like you have never seen before. And I've personally spent over $2 million on Facebook ads and have made over $10 million from them. And this is proven. And this isn't across like all of these different clients. You know, some people puff their chest out and they're like, yeah, we've helped people with $1 million in ad spend, but that's spread across 30 clients. I've spent more than 2 million and made over 10 on one ad account, and it's my own money. Show me someone else that's done that. And that's why this Facebook training is next level. And when it comes to Facebook ads for consulting, I'm among the best in the world at it, if not the best. And what you will discover in week 5 will blow your head clean off your body. It is the most extensive, profound Facebook ads training in the world, and it's over 24 hours of training on its own. And this could be a course itself. It's that good. And here you will learn step by step how to set up a killer Facebook ads campaign from scratch, regardless of your previous experience, all the way through to scaling it up to multiple millions in advertising spend. And I show you how to structure your campaigns using Facebook's golden mean, how to understand the algorithm, how to craft ads that hypnotize your niche, and how to achieve omnipresence, how to splice your ads' DNA, and more. And most people try Facebook ads on their own, and then they give up 6 months later with a pile of debt and frustration. Well, we get you going, and we get you going in a serious way in just 5 weeks' time. And like I said, this training is next level. So let's take a look inside. We go to week 5 here, Fractal Facebook Evolution, and you can see that this is 13 modules long, and pretty much all of these are more than an hour long. Like I said, there is 24 hours of the world's best Facebook training right here, and it's just one part of the course. So you can see this video is 114 minutes, and this is seriously next level. So we've got mapping your niche's genome, unveiling the algorithm, really understanding that, playbook for a new epic. This is stuff you will never have seen anywhere else because no one has taken Facebook to the levels that I've taken it to. So that's why all of this stuff you won't have seen anywhere else. And, here's just some proof. This is a screenshot of one campaign in my ad account. And this is what I achieved with one campaign. And you can see here, I served up 106 million impressions. And I spent $1.85 million, and I got 2,500 people to purchase, and it tracked here the revenue at 5 million, so I put in 1.8, made 5, and, this is understated here, because this Facebook tracking pixel probably didn't get everyone. We probably made a lot more than that. I'd probably say it's more like 6 or 7 just on this one campaign. And show me someone else who serves up 106 million impressions. You can see here, I was pretty much serving up 1 million impressions a day. And this is why this Facebook training is next level, because pretty much there is no one that does that. So that is how I have that knowledge. And that's what I've really crystallized and distilled and put into this training program for you guys to crush it with. And here's what people are saying about it. Sam Ovens, this is real expert stuff right here. I feel like screaming. This entire Facebook ads training is literally handing me a blank check. Thanks, Sam, for creating the best Facebook training I have ever seen. Amazing. Here's Denny. Just watched the Facebook training in week 5. All I want to say is rich. Mic drop worthy. The whole training is killer, but this one is a goodie. Now week 6, minimum viable service delivery. So in week 6, we show you how to work with your clients, deliver amazing service to them, and scale everything up. And I show you how to set expectations with your clients and how to manage the relationship and deliver amazing service. And I show you how to structure and continuously refine your offer so that it requires as little of you as possible. And I show you all the legals. I don't just show you, I give them to you. I give you all the legals you need to run your consulting business. And this includes consulting agreements, contracts, terms and conditions, privacy policy, and more. And what happened is when I first started training people on this, they would come to me and they'd be like, Sam, I need all of these legal agreements. And I asked a lawyer and he said it's going to be like $5,000. I don't have $5,000. What do I do? And I was like, oh yeah, this is a real sticking point for everyone. And so I thought, all right, well, what I will do is I'll go and find a lawyer and I'll get them to create some universal contracts and agreements and everything that will work for all of us in this community. Doesn't matter what country you're in, doesn't matter what state or anything. These agreements will be made universal and all you have to do is change out some different things and they will work for anyone. And so I got these agreements made up and it cost me like $5,000 in lawyers' fees to do it all. But once I did it, then I could put it in the community, in the group for everyone. And now you can use these. You get them on day one. You can use them right away. And that's going to save you a real $5,000. And it's going to speed up the process in a big way. And I show you how to hire top 1% contractors to help you run your consulting business without you doing all of the work, and how to manage projects, systemize the day-to-day operations, and run your consulting business like a well-oiled machine, and how to use marketing automation to systemize your client generation and improve your results. And let's take a look inside at that week 6 there. So if I scroll through to week 6, minimum viable service delivery, here you can see all of the different modules and the action items and everything. So that is week 6. And here's what people are saying about it. Here's Tamara. It's almost overwhelming, the ideas that are spilling out my head onto paper. The most helpful part was minimum viable service delivery. Terry, ring the bell. Signed 3 clients last month for a very nice $5,000. This is a life changer. And here's Dotan. New client, thanks Sam Ovens for the training. Your training rocks. I've been to Cambridge, Wharton, and Harvard Business School, and this trumps what I've had before. Thank you. So let's take a look at that timeline. Let's take a look at what we go through, a high-level view. So in week 1, I show you how to pick your niche and how to craft your offer, how to price your offer, how to get your messaging right, really how to get all of those key pieces in place. Then in week 2, I show you how to get your mindset right. I show you how to escape yourself and really be able to take action and escape all of those negative thoughts and negative behavior patterns that just keep people paralyzed. Then in week 3, I show you how to get clients on the phone and how to convert them with one phone call, how to take a total stranger to a paying client. I give you my script and everything. Then in week 4, I show you how to attract clients to your business like a magnet instead of you having to go out and chase them. And so I give you 5 organic methods and I teach you the paid methods. I give you the funnels, the website, everything. Then in week 5, I show you some seriously next level training when it comes to Facebook. Fractal Facebook Evolution. 24 hours of the world's best Facebook training, and it's just one part of the course. It could be a course in itself. And then in week 6, minimum viable service delivery. How to deliver amazing service to your clients, keep them for the long haul, and really run your consulting business. And we achieve more in 6 weeks than most people achieve in 10 years. So now let's talk about the format. So now you know what's in there. Now let's talk about how it's given it to you. So the Consulting Accelerator is available online, and it's also shipped out to you as a box set of actual physical workbooks. So we give you lots of different options to learn. And we want you to learn the way that best suits you, because we know everyone's different and we want to accommodate everyone's different styles. So it's available online via desktop or mobile. So you can log in on your laptop or your computer or your iPhone, your iPad, any mobile phone that has the internet, you can use it there. And it's also, you can watch the videos. So if you prefer to learn with videos, you can watch full HD video. But if you prefer to listen to audio, or if you do a lot of commuting and you walk around listening to things, or if you're on the bus or on the train or driving to work, we provide the audios as well. And I'll show you how that works here. So you can watch the videos, and we give you the resources and everything, but then we provide you with the MP3 here. So you just click on this, and it pops down. You can play the audio, speed up the speed, and as you can see, this works beautifully on a mobile phone as well. We've spent a lot of money and a lot of time making this the ultimate training. And we also give you transcripts. So we provide the full transcripts for every single video in the entire program. There isn't any video that doesn't come also with its full word-for-word transcript for those that like to read. And we also provide you with physical workbooks so that you can have that at home with you while you go through the online version as well. And so this is basically what we ship out to you. And we have all of these different books that we put into this box, and we call it the box set. And so basically what we ship out to you is a notepad for taking notes. We give you the course workbook, which has all of the course content in readable version with the images of the slides as well. And then we give you the Alchemy of Self workbook so that you can work on growing into the new evolutions of yourself and really evolving yourself. And this thing is dangerous. You've seen the results that taught me, and you've seen the results that taught my clients. Then we also give you the Alchemic conversion scripts, the printed version, and the Alchemy planner. And the planner is basically, I designed the perfect day planner for consulting the way we teach it. And you can use that to schedule your day every day. And we ship all of this out to you in this box immediately, and it's free shipping everywhere in the world. Doesn't matter where you are, it's free. We ship it to you. Now let's talk about another huge component in this. So remember I told you that this is different. It's a change agent, and it is comprised of these four things. So we've got the proven process, the new paradigm. I've shown you these, but let's talk about this third element, the winning community. And most people join programs, learn what to do, and then never do anything. Why is this? And most people join a program and attempt to change their life and their business, but their current environment is not set up to assist that transformation. And their friends and family, etc., all doubt them. They speak different languages and they inhabit different worlds. And when you go against your environment, things are challenging beyond belief, and most people give up because it's just too hard. And I experienced this myself for years. I sat in this pain and it plagued my existence for years until I figured out what the problem was. And the truth is, you need to be in a community that is on the same wavelength as you. You need to be in a community that speaks the same language as you, and you need to have people around you that are on the same life mission as you. And this is crucial. Most people try to start a business, but they're around people who aren't starting businesses. And the people doubt them. They don't think that they're going to be successful. None of them understand what you're talking about. And when you're in an environment like that, it makes change hard. It actually makes change next to impossible. If you want change to happen, you need to be in an environment that supports it. That is one of the key elements. And you need to be around people who build you up instead of break you down. And this is exactly why we built the consulting community. And this is the third element. It's hard to change your life when you're surrounded by the people you've always been with. And our students join a worldwide community of people on the same path so that dreams aren't laughed at but achieved on a daily basis. And like I said, it is called the consulting community. And I want to show you what that just looks like right now. So here it is. And inside here, this is live on Facebook right now, the consulting community. We can scroll down, we can see what people are saying in here. And so this guy here is saying, well, Sam Ovens, you made me one of your six-figure, so here we go. Here's another one to add to that list. You made me a six-figure successful student, and it's been a year now, so it took him 1 year to get to six figures. And, well, there's one of them right there. Here's a guy asking about if anyone in here is 58. Let's read some of these other things. This person here is looking for an accountability partner to practice the sales script. Let's see what else is in here. Here's another testimonial. Ring the bell. 40,000 client just signed up. So, here's someone who just signed up a 40K client. And, the success in here is crazy. Here's another one. And these ones are live in here right now as I just scroll through. Ring the bell. 45K in contracts to start. I began Sam Ovens training months ago, and it gave me the knowledge needed to... See, this is ridiculous. I'm just scrolling through here, and there's live people ringing the bell in here. And when you join this community, here's basically what you can get out of it. So you can ask questions and get help from others. So you can ask in that Facebook group. Someone's going to help you out within like a couple of minutes. And you can also team up with others and practice sales calls with them, and that is invaluable. Sometimes when you get started, you're not confident to go out and talk to real-life market participants in the beginning. You need to warm up by speaking to a friend. And you can also partner up with an accountability partner. So you can partner up with someone who's on the same path as you, and each day you can have check-in calls on Skype or whatever, and you can hold each other accountable and form like a little group to go out and take action each day. These things are invaluable. And you can get emotional support if you feel down at any time. That's what this community is here for. And here's what people say about it. Here's someone saying, is there anyone that wants to practice the sales script? And people jump in, they're like, yes, and they're arranging it right here. And here's Andrew, and he's thanking some of his people that have helped him for helping him out with the sales script. And here's Sheree, and she's saying, it's guidance like this that those in this community provide that helps us all succeed. So this community is contagious. The way everyone thinks in there, the attitude and the culture in there, it's contagious. And when you join it, you're just going to catch it like a virus. And it's going to give you the confidence in everything. That's what an environment does. It shapes everything. Now, there's one final thing that's absolutely mandatory when creating change in your life, and that is expert mentorship. So everyone needs help and advice when tackling new challenges, but true experts are out of reach for most people. And our students get 24/7, 365 access to millionaire experts on Facebook, weekly calls and emails. So we don't just give you access to everyone in the community, but I actually pay millionaire consultants to be in the community all the time and host calls and everything with the group to help everyone out. I tell you, the level of service and mentorship in here is absolutely next level. And here's what you get. So first of all, you have the Hive Mind search tool, which you can use to basically search for anything. So if you have a problem with anything in the program, all you need to do is hit search, and you can search the Hive Mind, and here you type in whatever it is that you're looking for, and it will search all of our archives. And whatever question you've got, whatever problem you've got, you'll be able to find it in here with the Hive Mind. And on top of that, we also give you access to the Facebook group where there's expert coaches, which I showed you before, the consulting community. And on top of that, every single week, we host 2 live Q&A calls every week, and you also get the recordings of those. So to work that, you can just click on community here, how to get help, and you can see everything that we give you to help you. So you've got the search, the Facebook group, or the Q&A calls. So if we go to the Q&A calls, you can see that there's a live call coming up in 1 day and 1 minute, and you can register for that. Or you can search all of our previous calls. We record all of them, and we've got archives that are more than a year old. So if I click on, one of these call recordings here, the full video is recorded here, and then here's the full transcript. So, even if you can't make the calls, all the archives are here. And so, like I said, the mentorship is next level. And we also have a customer support team available via email 7 days a week. And here's what people are saying about it. Ring the bell. Thank you for the coaches with my relentless questions and being exceptionally generous with your time on answering the weekly Q&A calls. Here's Leon. Great live Q&A call today. Thanks both to Jesse and Josh, who are some of our coaches. And here's David. Thanks, guys, for giving so much support here. And when I say that we provide customer support, I really mean it. I don't pay some company in India or some virtual contractors somewhere around the world. All of my support staff are in our Manhattan office or our Ireland office, and they are well-trained, well-paid, and these people are experts. And this is what I mean by the perfectly engineered change agent. You need all 4 of these components to come together and really help you create change. If you just have one of these missing, change won't happen. And most programs have 3 missing, some of them have 4 missing. With the Consulting Accelerator program, you get all 4, and that's why we've been able to achieve such massive results for people. And this is not your typical course. It's the byproduct of 6 years' work, absolute mastery in the field, 16 different iterations, 10+ million in personal investment, and it's like nothing else that exists today. So let's put this in perspective and do the math. So here's the disturbing cost of going at it alone. So to figure out all of this information and get your consulting business set up the right way, it could take you 3 to 10 years of your life, and you might not figure it out at all. And you'd have to try thousands of things on your own with no idea about what does and doesn't work, and you'd have to learn with expensive, painful trial and error. And to get your mindset right and change your paradigm and yourself, it may take decades and cause terrible amounts of anguish and pain, and your life may pass without it even being done. And to build a support network and community of people like this would take you years. It took me 6 years to cultivate this community to where it is now, and I put my heart and soul into it every day for all of those 6 years. And think about the true cost it would take you to achieve this. It's tens of millions of dollars and decades of time. And of course, even if you did that, it might still not be possible for you at all. So let's summarize everything that you get. So in this topic, you get the 6-week Consulting Accelerator implementation program, and it's a total of 120 hours of breakthrough content. You also get the new paradigm that provides profound change, the access to the consulting community Facebook group. You also get mentorship via the Facebook group, 2 live Q&A calls every week, email support, Hive Mind search, everything I showed you. And you get the box set of workbooks shipped out to you. Free shipping anywhere in the world, we ship them right to you. And those are some awesome products that will really help you go through this period of change. So, the everyday normal price for the Consulting Accelerator program is $6,000. So if you were to purchase this program at any time, it would cost you $6,000. That is the price. And at that price, it is awesome value. Here's what people say about it. I don't post much, but I felt the need today for some reason. The quality of this program and this community is simply extraordinary. I've been a part of Sam's program for well over 6 months now, and the impact that it has had on my life is incalculable. I've been involved in international business for over a decade, traveled the world in the capacity, and come into contact with some of the most successful people one can imagine in various industries. And I can honestly say that nothing comes even close to what is on offer in Sam's program. Sam Evans is a visionary, and quite frankly, he should be charging $100,000 for his information. It's that valuable. So the normal everyday price is $6,000, and even at that price, people are saying I should be charging $100,000 for it. And you know what? They're right. Like, this stuff is really powerful. And it's a steal at $6,000. It's cheaply priced at that. But, I was thinking about it, and I really want to send the elevator back down. And what I mean by that is, I can't help but think back to the days when I was struggling in that garage at home, broke. And, I was just falling flat on my face, and I was in a dark place, and I really needed some guidance. I really needed some instructions and someone to show me what to do, because I was clueless. But, I couldn't find that thing. And if I was to find this, this is exactly what I would have needed. But at $6,000, it's just not a possibility. No one has really $6,000 when they first get started. And so what I've decided recently, I've been able to make a lot of money, and you can see how much I've made, and most people just take off and retire to the beach. But I've decided to really keep going at this, and it's because I truly want to send the elevator back down and help as many people as I can. So I'm going to do something special for everybody on this webinar today. I'm going to offer this program at a price that is truly ridiculous. And so here's what you get in the Consulting Accelerator program, and the normal everyday price is $6,000. If you were to buy this yesterday, tomorrow, any other day, in a month, 3 months ago, you'd pay $6,000. That is the price. However, I'm going to mark this out, and I'm going to do a special offer for everyone. And for people on this webinar today only, I'm going to do it for $1,999. So it's usually $6,000. I'm going to do it for $1,999. And guys, that's $4,000 off. That is ridiculous. And more than that, I'm going to throw in true lifetime access to everything. You get access to the consulting community for life. You get access to the coaching calls, to the Q&A calls we do, to the program, to everything, the updates and all for life. And it's usually $6,000. You get it for $2,000. This is a ridiculous offer. And I'm willing to stand behind this 100% with an absolute satisfaction guarantee. So if you go through this program, watch the content and complete the exercises and take action, you should get a high-value client worth at least $2,000. And 3,000 reviews prove this. We've had over 3,000 reviews. It's proven. This isn't like a guess thing. It works. But just in case you're skeptical, I want to offer you a 14-day money-back guarantee. Simply sign up for the program, watch the content, take action, and if you're not completely satisfied with it in the first 14 days, you can request a refund, and it will be full and immediate. And so here it is, and here's how you get started with the Consulting Accelerator right now. So you get the 6-week implementation program, which is all of the training. There's 120 hours in total. You get the new paradigm that provides profound change, teaches you how to think differently and everything. Access to the consulting community Facebook group for life. And you get mentorship provided by the Facebook group, the 2 Q&A calls we do every week, the recordings, customer support via email and everything for life. You get these things for life, which is ridiculous. And we ship you out the box set of the physical workbooks. We ship them to you anywhere in the world, any country, any state, any city, for free shipping. And like I said, we've had 3,000 customer ratings, and we've been given 4.85 stars out of 5. And the price is usually $6,000, but today only for the people on this webinar, it's just $1,999. And I'm going to allow you to split it up too, if you want to do that. So you can pay one payment of $1,999, and I do recommend you do that because you will save some money that way. However, if you don't have $1,999 right now, well, you can split the payments up. You can pay one payment of $599 now, and you'll get instant access into the program, and you can start doing the training and everything. And then you'll have to pay 4 more payments every 30 days. So one payment of $599 now, then in 30 days, another payment of $599, and another 30 days, another payment of $599. And you can get started right now by clicking the button to enroll. And the button is to the right-hand side of the screen, right there. You can see the arrows pointing to it right now. Just click that button to enroll and lock in this amazing offer right now. And guys, this will not last. We've got a limit on how many of these things we can sell at this price because it is a ridiculous offer. And so this is going to sell out fast. There's a lot of people on this webinar, and I can see people in the comments already being like, whoa. So this is going to move. So make sure that you click that button right now and lock it in right now so you can get these savings. Now what I want to do is open up for some questions. I want to do some Q&A. Like I said at the start, I'm going to hang around and answer some questions. So if you've got any questions, just write them in that chat box right now. And I'm going to go through them one by one and answer them. All right, so David says, what niche should I choose for my consulting business? Well, there's honestly no magic niche. You need to go through this process yourself, and we teach you exactly how to do that in this program in detail. And it's the first week of the training for a reason. You don't pick your niche and then join the program. You join the program to figure out how to pick your niche. And if we expected you to pick it before joining, it wouldn't be a module in the training program. So honestly, about 98% of the people who join this program do so without having their niche picked. We don't expect anyone to have their niche picked when they join. That is what we teach you how to do in detail in the program, and we've got a full-on process for you to do that. We do it in the first 7 days. So Andrea says, how can I position myself as an expert without previous results and case studies? And that's an awesome question. Thanks, Andrea. So I know a lot of people struggle with this. Everybody starts, but the thing everyone doesn't understand is that everyone starts in the exact same position without any case studies and without any results, and that's totally normal. And you're able to position yourself as an expert by thoroughly understanding your niche's problem and using messaging that communicates that. And this program shows you exactly how to do this, and that's how everyone starts. So we show you how to pick a niche, how to find out what their pains and desires are. Then we show you how to craft an offer that solves those pains and desires. And when you can communicate that you know that and you have that understanding, you will already be perceived as an expert. And that's what this program teaches you how to do. Daniel says, how do I justify my pricing? How much can I charge? So you want to price on value, not costs or time. And you should look at how much it's costing your prospect to have this problem and what it would be worth to them to have the problem solved. And you want to make sure that you pick a niche that has a painful problem that people are willing to pay at least $2,000 to solve. And again, this program shows you exactly how to do that step by step. And I strongly advise everyone in my program to never price below $2,000. And I encourage them to even charge more than that. And that's why pretty much all of my clients, all of the students which you've seen, all of the students in our testimonials and reviews on our website, they've all got prices at least $2,000 or more. That's how you really make money. And this program shows you how to do that. So Alex says, I don't think Facebook ads will work for me and my niche. This is good. So, this is a common misunderstanding that most people make. And most people think that their niche isn't on Facebook because they're business people or more serious sort of people. But honestly, pretty much every niche is on Facebook because Facebook is a platform for people, not businesses. And it doesn't matter whether you're targeting B2B or B2C. At the end of the day, those things don't matter. It's people who run businesses, and it's people who are on Facebook. And I'm sure your niche will be on Facebook, and this program will show you exactly how to target them and how to craft a message in an ad that really strikes a nerve with them and provokes them to take action. However, let's say Facebook turns out not to work for your niche. Well, if that happens, which I don't think it will, but if that does happen, we have 5 proven organic methods that will work perfectly for you. And like I said, this program, we give you the organic methods first. We encourage you to use those first because they're simple, they're free to use. You don't need any money to spend on ads or anything. Very simple, no technology or anything involved. And you use those methods to get clients first. Once you've got clients through that, then you can use that money to invest in ads and scale things up. And Sergio says, I can't afford this program. Is there anything you can do for me? Well, if you can't afford this program, then that's really evidence that you need this program. And most people think if they can't afford something, then they shouldn't do it. And the truth is that if you can't afford a program like this, you really need it more than anybody because this is a program that shows you how to make money. So it's kind of weird. Like imagine saying, I don't have enough money to learn how to join a program that teaches me how to make money. It's not really right. You need to figure out a way to make it happen, Sergio. So you need to get creative and think how you can find the money. There's credit cards, there's loans, there's parents, there's friends and family who you could ask. You could even sell something and use the money from that to make it happen. I know a lot of people do that. I always receive messages of people that are like, I just sold this to get into this program. And, that shows dedication. Anyone that's willing to do something like that, they're going to be successful because they are hungry and they're willing to step up and do whatever it takes. So just don't use that excuse. Don't just think, I can't do it, don't have enough money. Don't use an excuse. Get creative and start thinking of ways that you can make this work. Awesome. Well, now let's talk results. Because I don't think anybody has created this level of success for themselves and others in this time frame. And here's me personally. So I started as a college dropout, completely broke, with no college degree and no advantages, working out of my parents' garage in a tiny country called New Zealand with absolutely nothing going for me. And within 1 year of starting my consulting business, I was making 100 grand at age 22. Within 2 years, I was making 500 grand at 23. Within 3, 1.2 million at 24. Within 4, 2.4 million at 25. And within 5, 18.2 million at 26. And within 6, I was featured on the Forbes 30 under 30 list, and Forbes estimated my net worth to be $65 million at age 27. And I literally went from being completely broke in a garage in New Zealand to Manhattan and 65 million net worth. And like I said, that's just my results. Let's talk about what I've been able to achieve for my clients, because while that's impressive what I've done for myself, it's nothing when you see what I've been able to achieve for others. And that is the true test of a consultant. A consultant, to do the acid test on a consultant, first of all, you want them to be successful. Because, you wouldn't take personal training lessons from, if you wanted to lose weight, you wouldn't listen to an obese personal trainer, right? Because you want to see that someone practices what they preach. And if you're going to learn how to make money, you want to learn that from someone that's got some money and has been successful, right? So first of all, you want to check that your consultant has been successful, him or herself. And I've shown you that I have done just that. But the real test, the real acid test, is what the consultant has been able to achieve for others. Because ultimately, in business, it's not about yourself, it's about how you can serve others. And now I want to show you what I've been able to achieve for my clients in a very short amount of time. So within 4 years, I have helped 21 people become millionaires. Many of these people started from zero or from having a job, full-time job at like 40, 50 grand a year. And they have become millionaires from this program, 21 of them. I've helped 451 people make six-figure incomes. And a lot of those are multi-six figures, high six figures. And I've helped 2,838 people quit their full-time jobs and start their own consulting businesses. So that's a lot of jobs quit because of this program. And together, our community has made over $400 million. So like I said, I've been able to make over 20 million with my consulting business myself. But look at what our clients have been able to achieve. 400 million. They dwarf me, and that's what you want to see. You want to see a program where the teacher and the leader is successful, but the community is more successful. Like I said, this thing has turned into a movement. And we have clients in 72 different countries around the world. And the average satisfaction rating of our clients is 4.85 stars out of 5. And that is seriously high. And this comes from 3,000 proven video testimonials that are published on our website. And here's what some people are saying. Whoa, this is so much more than I have received from most other programs, bar none. I just watched the Niche 2.0 video, and it is amazing. I'm doing the market research now, and it's boggling my mind. Here's Ray. Leave my full-time job in 14 days. 8 months of growth and learning about the true me after 48 years. I am almost at a loss for words to describe how amazing this feels. Thank you, Sam Ovens, for developing this program. It is the catalyst in my life. Last Monday morning, I stood in my living room and I said out loud, I don't want to keep living like this, meaning more of the same, holding my hand out for jobs, not being able to travel, and having to pinch every penny at nearly 26. And she joined this program, and now it's coming to, her life is coming to a change. She's now being able to start her own consulting business and grasp fate with her own hands. Here's another one. I just joined with Sam Ovens and completed week 1. I'm bloody mind-blown with what I have learned so far. This stuff is truly amazing. Ring the bell, quitting my job. Goodbye to the toxic environment that I've been working most nights and giving up sleep for over 9 months to get away from. Hey everyone, just finished week 2 and I'm blown away by the quality of this program. Here's another one. Whoa, I've watched the first 2 videos of week 2 in the mindset training. This resonates with me so much, and I've already had significant breakthroughs in awareness and understanding. This will set me free from old patterns established in my life during the past 40 years of work and business. Here's another one. I've done a ton of personal development work, but this video has blown me away. I'm stunned. And guys, that is just the start of it. Like I said, we've helped 21 people become millionaires with this training. 452 people get to 6 figures with this training. And 2,838 people have quit their jobs because of this training. And our customer satisfaction level is 4.85 stars out of 5, which is extremely high. And not only are our customers satisfied, but they're making money. They're getting a return on their investment. And I know satisfaction is one thing, but making a profit and making an ROI is another. And we want to make sure that we nail both, and we do, day after day. And like I said, we have over 3,000 video testimonials on our website from real-life people all around the world. And what I want to do is just show you those right now. So if you go to our website, consulting.com, and you click on reviews up the top here, you can see 3,000 customer reviews. And you can see our stats, how many millionaires, how many six-figure people, how many people have quit their jobs. And we publish all of our testimonials on our website, all 3,000 of them. So when I say that we have 3,000 real-life stories from people all around the world, I'm not just making that up, I mean it. And you can go and fact-check me on that. They are all on our website, all 3,000 of them. And you can even use filters to look at the different types. You can look at the different ratings, the different results they've been able to achieve, the categories they're in, the different niches, the different locations around the world, and you can look at these yourself to see how many people's lives have been changed because of this program. And now what I want to do is pull one of these up and show it to you right now. So we'll pick this one here. So if you click on any of these, you can see the actual video for it. You can see all of their stats, and now we'll watch we'll watch this video right now. Should work for everyone. Hopefully the sound works for everyone on this webinar. I'm not sure if it will, but let's just try it out.
Hey guys, Dave Rogan-Moser here, and I just wanted to share with you how working with Sam Ovens totally changed my life, has made me a relatively wealthy person in a short amount of time. It's helped me find the woman of my dreams and allowed me to be this lifestyle entrepreneur I always dreamed of being, and I really mean all that. So without getting too hypey here on you, just fast forward.